All right, all right, all right. Let's get to this party right now. Let's get to it. We're gonna get to it. Tell all your friends to hurry up and get up in here because we ain't gonna be on here all night. Okay, we got stuff to do. We got stuff to do.
View and the point of view of Black citizens.
Why'd that freeze? Oh, come on. Okay, everything looks good here. Let me try this.
Who feel they're under siege.
Hold on 1 second.
And the point of view of Black citizens who
You gotta be bloody kidding me.
feel they're under siege.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned.
You gotta be joking. I'll be right back. Wait, can you guys hear it? All right, Gemini, if you can do some shout outs to everybody while I get this situation taken care of, because I can't hear nothing. Oh, there we go. That's the problem. Found it real quick. Found it real quick. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
The police point of view and the point of view of Black citizens who feel they're under siege.
Yes, normalize, bring your chivalry back. Realize that my car caught a flat and I just need help with a jack. Realize I'm a vulnerable woman in need. You can keep your help if that means sleeping with me. I'd rather struggle than to sell myself and lose my dignity. How could you call yourself a man propositioning me? I bet you got a daughter too that you'll kill for, but you can't see that I'm a daughter. That's a killjoy. 1 in 6 U.S. women done been raped. Now just imagine that statistic across the whole world. It's a dangerous thing being born a girl when we living in a man's world. I'm not looking for a lover. I'm just waiting on a friend to show you. Just need a shoulder I can lean on when I need a helping hand. Could show you. And I'm not looking for a lover. I just really need a friend. Could show you a real shoulder I can lean on when I need a helping hand. Could show you a handle. Normalize walking away when a woman rejects you. Realize she's afraid and don't wanna upset you. Why you feel like she's yours for? I watched a man in Harlem smack a woman in the face with a skateboard. I can't forget the young mom leaving out the liquor store. She said no and got jumped by 5 or 6 young boys. One of them stole her phone, nearly bit her eye out. No, she was thinking about her daughter when she cried out. The whole world rioted for George Floyd. Less than 100 people showed up for a kid boy. Jacob Blake reached for a knife and y'all rallied for him. Micaiah was fighting for her life and y'all dragged her for it. Corinne Gaines too, Natasha Harlan too. Y'all done forgot about him, cause they ain't Trayvon and they ain't Mike Brown and they ain't Eric Gardner. It's equally sad like how they did a Tatiana. We knew we wouldn't get no justice for Rihanna or 7-year-old sleeping beauty Ayana. Looking for a lover, I'm just waiting on a
please tell me why you got my house.
When I need a helping hand, could show you. And I'm not looking for a lover. I just really need a friend, could show you.
What the hell is going on with this shit? Okay. Anyway, for some reason, that video does not want to like me. So let's go to the next. Here we go, folks.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women.
Okay. I'm up and ready. It was playing wonderfully. I do not know what's going on here. Hold on one second. All right, Gemini, if you can go to the stage and interact with the chat while I do something real quick. I'll be back. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just go ahead and interact with the chat. I'll be back.
All right. Some more shout outs. Claudette Jonie, Oya Terminator Negro, BXX, Tiff. Thank you guys for joining us. That first video was from a female artist. She's pretty new on the scene. I think it's Day So. But it was just we showed it to talk about, to wrap up what we were talking about yesterday in terms of how the red pill and the manosphere, how they view women and how misogynistic they are. And we had a couple of detractors in the chat who wanted us to believe that nothing is happening to Black women, that Black women aren't being victimized on the street by men, strangers, just for saying no. And we always want to bring awareness to the things that are happening currently and in current events. And it's interesting and amazing that a lot of these men want Black women to take accountability, but I keep asking the question, what does that accountability look like in terms of what they're saying? Because they love to talk about single mothers. They love to talk about older women. They love to talk about hair, weave, nails, makeup. They love to talk about and dismiss and say that our education doesn't mean anything, that our careers don't mean anything, but yet they still want to profit from those things. And so I keep asking them, what does that look like? What you'll notice is you never see them taking accountability for Black men killing each other every 2 hours. You never hear them speak on the subject of Black men killing Black women every 4.5 hours. So you never hear those things being addressed. but you're always hearing them talk about the only issue that they really care about, which is sexual access to women. And so it's up to women, which women have been doing by and large, and protecting themselves and making sure that whatever your state allows, you're arming yourself with it. Because as you can see by watching local news, it's getting harder and harder for you to just be able to live in peace and say, you know, no, I'm not interested.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned, is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men.
And our community right now is really discombobulated because the women seem to be more interested in competing with us than being themselves.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
No, I'm not blaming black America women. I'm blaming the system. They are victims of the system like the black male.
And all that is deliberate. We talk about the white supremacist, core of it.
Okay, how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility?
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
If men do better, women will naturally follow. And unfortunately, the situation of our community is a lot more complicated than that.
Ambitions and desires without.
Actually, really, quite honestly, it is that simple. It really is that simple. Let me go back to this dude in this other video.
I think that what's happening.
This dude right here. There we go. Okay. They're making it more difficult than it really is. I mean, basically like this. As a black man, it's really simple. If you want better women, then you have to be better yourself. If you're saying you want better women, right? Then if black women were doing so horrible, then why aren't black men just married to other races right now? And no one else. But 80% of black men marry black women. So obviously, it's not that. So that's the crux of the problem, is that if you start to blame somebody else, you don't do any of the work you need to do yourself.
DJ, just a point of correction. 80% of the men that do get married marry black women. Not 80% of black men are married.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly that. 80% of the black men who do get married to black women. So with that said, I mean, the proof is not in the pudding. It's not looking good for all the Manosphere hacks who are trying to brainwash and make you think it's the woman's fault, because basically they themselves already confirmed that black men were in control, right? So how do you lose control? It's called failure. Black women aren't really controlling black men, because if black women were controlling black men, right? Then they would have black men would have the same stats, but there's a lot more black men in prison because black women can't control black men. I'm sorry, no black woman is telling a black man to go out and commit crimes. It's just not like that. It's just not going on like that. A black woman cannot physically force a black man to commit a crime. You said black men were superior, right? If that's the case, if you're saying a black man, a male, is more superior, then how does a male get outsmarted by a woman? We all know it happened, so we know that's kind of bullshit. But you see my point. You guys said you were supposed to be the leaders and superior one, right? So the lack of taking accountability, which is ironic because it's the excuse the Manosphere uses on women, the lack of them not taking accountability, it puts you where you are. It puts you exactly where you are.
So wait. So you're saying black men are not taking accountability? I thought they were the kings of accountability.
Apparently by the stats, no. If we were taking accountability, all this shit show that goes on, if we were taking accountability, we would not be hurting each other and black women as much as we are doing it right now. It's that simple. I mean, accountability means that you're taking ownership, but at the same time, maybe they are taking accountability, but they're just ignoring it and using it for an excuse. They aren't taking a physical or an emotional accountability. They're just saying they're taking accountability without taking accountability.
Well, whenever I ask, they're unable to define because they're always holding women accountable. And every time I ask them to define what accountability looks like for black women, they're never able to do so.
Right.
So, for example, a single baby mother is on Kendra, has multiple children by 2 men, and they're saying she needs to take accountability. So I asked, what does that look like? Well, saying that she's part of the problem. Okay, so how does she do that? Does she need to verbalize that to everyone who she encounters? I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. Or does she do that by going on, taking care of her children, taking care of her responsibilities, and learning from her mistakes? Because it's as if they think that because she wants someone in her life, somehow she's her position and the children disallow her to have someone in her life. And so I don't even understand what accountability looks like in their eyes in terms of women. It's just a emotional manipulation. They just want to continuously badger and beat down women, and they want to be able to incessantly do so. But until they can address the ruby red streets every 2 hours, every 4 point hours, then we can't even talk about accountability as far as I'm concerned with them.
Ambitions and desires without
One second.
I gotta hustle. I gotta get 3 ambitions and desires without
One moment.
ambitions and desires without any competition with a woman. For example, if a man wants a nice Mercedes Benz, I know I gotta give me a better job. I gotta hustle. I gotta get 3 hustles and a 9 to 5. I gotta do what I gotta do to get this money because I really want this car. This car is so beautiful. It drives better. I'm tired of driving my
Oh, okay, 1 second.
So what this guy is essentially saying is that black women are getting an education. They're focused on their careers, not to better themselves, but in order to compete with black men. That's essentially what the video is about. So it has nothing to do with needing a place to stay, wanting to live a good life, wanting to live a comfortable life, wanting to be able to feed ourselves, and if women have children, feed their children. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with wanting to compete with black men, not compete in society for a good place in society, not be able to go on vacation every blue moon. None of those things is the reason that black women are doing what they're doing, but it's only to compete against black men. Yeah.
Desires. Without, man, want some nice Mercedes Benz. Man, I know I gotta give me a better job. I gotta hustle. I gotta get.
Okay, just double checking. Can you hear that right now?
I can hear it. I don't know if
And a 9 to 5. I gotta do what I gotta do to get this money because I really want this car. This car is so beautiful. It drives better. I'm tired of driving my Honda. I have my Honda for 10 years. It's time to upgrade. I like the dashboard. I like the GPS system in there. When a man wants something, it's not to put down a woman or in competition with a woman. It's to satisfy his own personal desire and ambition. But with a woman, not all women, but most women, their only ambition is to compete with a man. You can't compete with us on a lot of aspects. Just like we can't compete with y'all. Men can't have a baby. That's one of the great gifts that women provide to the earth, to mankind, is delivering a child. So why
Notice how he's talking like women are only supposed to do things for him. You're not supposed. It's like a one-way street. This man. That's how you know somebody has some narcissistic or sociopathic behavior. I know I'm no doctor, but that's what I see is when you think people should do stuff for you.
Jenny B says, how are black women in competition with men that hate on their education and career because they're uneducated and jobless? So in other words, how is it that we're not even in the same lane? If you're unemployed and you don't have an education, you don't even stand up. Like, you're not even on the application, dude. Like, you can't even get the same job that I get. So how is it that I'm even in close proximity? We're not even in the same lane. We're not even in the same socioeconomic status. So how am I competing with you? Tiff says we usually don't even work around tons of black men. There might be a handful. How can we compete with someone not there?
Boom.
The volume on that is low. We can't hear it.
Say again.
Can't hear that one.
Okay, the other one you could hear, but this one you can't.
Right.
Okay. Hold on. Let me try something else. Okay.
Jenny B, it's like you're their imagination. And again, everything is about materialism. It's either sex or materialism. They're not talking about anything of substance. Everything is superficial with these guys.
Listen up and listen up good. I believe in reincarnation. In 1920s, the men in 1920s are the women in 1923. The grown women in 1923. They were born in 1980. So any women born in 1980 all the way up to now are the reincarnations of these men in the 1920s. They abused women. They were narcissistic. They were all these things that the women are complaining about men are today. The men today were the women back then, and they were abused. And so a lot of men today don't trust a lot of women because of this reason. Until women go back into their heart, understand who they are as feminines, these men today will not trust them. They're here to heal those wounds.
Let me stop that right there.
Yeah, go back and play it again. Just play it again, because you know it takes a minute for something that foolish to sink in because it really doesn't make
I want
sense,
you
but
to
it makes
listen
sense
up
to
and
him.
listen up good. I believe in reincarnation.
First thing I need to point out is how I like to see his doctorates. I like to see his qualifications for him to act like and sound like he's a freaking expert.
In 1920s, the men in 1920s are the women in 1923. The grown women in 1923. They were born in 1980.
Was he born in the 1920s? I don't think he was.
No. Listen, no. He was born a woman in the 1920s. He's a man in 2023, but he was born a woman in the 1920s.
Exactly.
Any women born in 1980 all the way up to now are the reincarnations of these men in the 1920s. They abused women. They were narcissistic. They were all these things that the women are complaining about men are today. The men today were the women back then, and they were abused. And so a lot of men...
So he's admitting that black men abused black women back in the day, and that black men were narcissistic. So he's actually doing a disservice to both people here, because now he's going to say that black women abuse black men, even though black women are nowhere near the size of black men. Okay. And black men are supposed to be strong and mentally strong and independent and everything. So basically he's pissing on his own dudes, because first he says dudes in the 20s, black men in the 20s were abusive. And then now he's saying that black men are weak. So really, quite honestly, what he's saying...
No, DJ. They're only weak now because they were women then. And they can't be strong now because the men that abused them back in the 20s are the women of the 2023s. So the reason they're weak is still because of women.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is that the stats don't bear that out. Because if that was the case, then we would see most of the domestic, V things would be being caused by women, right? That's not the case, is it?
It should be. But in with his mindset, he's going to say the only reason it's not women is because the men of the 1920s are now acting out against the women, because the women were the men in the 1920s. So you have to go along with the foolery. You have to go along with this mindset. You have to stay on track. I need you to stay on track, DJ.
Today don't trust a lot of women because of this reason.
So in other words, they don't trust women because they were women in 1920s. And in the 1920s, we as women were abusive to them.
I think the war is because of women. We're refusing to listen.
Hold on one second. Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
No. While he's doing that, the thing about it is anybody who believes in reincarnation, who actually believes in reincarnation, doesn't believe people just come back as other people. And you don't get to determine what you come back as. You just come back as something else, some other living creature. And so there is no validity in his statement, period. It's just a whole bunch of foolery. Like Columbus Hill said, it's just more tomfoolery. Deontay Grant says 1920s black men were 100 times better than the black men today. In the 1920s, we built real communities. This guy is foolish. I'm going to give a shout out to Andre and Claudette Johnny, Deontay Grant in the room. But you see how many hoops these guys will jump through to blame black women for the position that they're in society. Like this dude went back to the 1920s, warped himself and all other black men into women. Now that they're born as men, they were the women back in the 1920s, and the women that are here today are the men of the 1920s, which it still doesn't make sense because not everybody here was born in 2023. Like nobody was born in 2023 that's having this conversation. So you have multiple generations. So like what, you have some people born in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. Like how does that work out? Yeah, I believe the Great Depression was it 1918? If I'm not mistaken. You can't get laid. It was 1929 to 1939. So yeah, during the Great Depression. Oh man, I didn't know that Harry Belafonte passed away yesterday. You back, DJ?
Just about. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
War is because of
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the war is because of women. We're refusing to listen to men's perspective. Now, we don't have to agree. We don't have to get on the train. We don't have to do anything, but just listening to your perspective, we don't listen. So then we cause each other to.
I need to stop this for a minute. This is a woman who got fresh off the boat to come to America, who got help to come to America because black women voted for immigration. Now she brings her ass and she's starting to be an advocate for men. But she's not an advocate for men. She's actually bringing that gender war to America to make money off of both men and women. She makes women the subject and she's getting her super chats from men. That's how disgusting this woman is. That's what puts her on the mammy chart way on near the top. Because she comes here from elsewhere to cause havoc, to cause chaos. If she really cared about the black community in America, because she's not from here, by the way. She's not from here, by the way. Okay. She would be more positive. But what she's doing is she's showing you what's going on inside of her mind. She is expressing to you how she feels about herself, okay, and her own mental state. She probably doesn't even know it herself. She just feels like she needs to just keep rolling out this cringe to get her. She's literally coming to America to pillage it. She literally came here to pillage. She gives younger black men, dumber black men, false hope using black women. That's pillaging at its best. That's pillaging. She is literally stealing from black Americans.
Well, she's running through the pockets of these black men because they don't care. That as long as they're hearing what they want to hear, they don't care what she's saying. As long as it's advantageous for them.
And she wants to act like she's trying to help. That's the thing that bothers me. She's fraudulent as heck.
You know, men and women are butting head because we're not understanding where you guys are coming from, and then we're forcing our perspective.
Who's we? You weren't even here. You're not American. You were, hey, if there's any community that welcomes people, it's the black community. But if you're going to be bringing this kind of noise, this kind of hate, this kind of supremacist shit, you need to go back. You can do this in your own country and see how long you stay. Or maybe they didn't want you there either. Because really, quite honestly, when you think about it, if she was hot in Jamaica, right, then she'd be talking about the culture, about relationships in Jamaica, right?
No, because they have the same black man. They have the same black man in Jamaica.
But at least she would start there. She couldn't even get started there. So I have to hand it, at least the black men in Jamaica, they didn't fall for her, because if she could make money off of somebody, she would have, right? So she didn't do that. What she did was she went where she can find some suckers. Some suckers. Like Lampshade and Ray Ray. She found some suckers. Y'all suckers. Every super chat you give her, you're a sucker. Unless you know you're being a sucker. You can say that. You can say, you know something, I don't care if she's, you know, she doesn't really care about the black community. She's just making money off of it. She entertains me. She entertains me.
No, that's
acting
not
like an expert when her only qualifications is failure.
What they're saying is she's telling the truth about black women. They're not saying she's pandering to them. They're not saying she's entertaining them. She's saying they're saying that she's telling the truth about black women. That's what they're saying. She's holding black women accountable.
Yeah, you can't get laid says Jamaica is sucker free. Yeah, I guess in some point. The thing is this: she's not talking about Jamaican black women. She's talking about American black women, and she makes that clear. She's talking about American black women.
And let's be real, the Jamaican black women take just as much, if not more, bull crap from their men than we do. Yeah. It's the same way in Trinidad. It's the same way all over the Virgin Islands. So you can miss us with this pious attitude that she has, as if black women are somehow not better or not the same as women from the islands. They get the same black men, if not worse. We can talk about the domestic violence rate in Ja, if she wants to run that down. We can talk about those things. We can talk about the incest and the SA, but she don't want to talk about those things. She really don't want to go there.
Nope, she doesn't. But she'll take them super chats. You know, she said, and I quote, "I am here to help young women and girls not make that same mistake I did." Yet she won't tell you specifically what those mistakes were. So I can only go by what she tells everyone, which is she talks about thoughts. She talks about 304s. She talks about women, single mothers. She talks about obese women, which she said she used to be fat. So she's basically talking about herself, but she's projecting it on other Black women in America. You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up.
On you guys. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, it is a losing situation. It is a losing situation. And she's making it even more of a loss.
I think this comment was important to address. This person says it's crazy that Black men and Black women are literally competing to prove that white people like them. Are you guys, excuse me, are you guys not embarrassed by the whole thing? And just to answer that question, Black women are not competing to see if anybody likes us. Black women, we stand alone. Okay, so we really don't give a fuck if other nationalities like us or not, because we like us. So I want to get that point across. However, Black men, on the other hand, they feel validated by being able to get foreign vaginas. So, and when they have access to foreign vaginas and non-Black women, they believe that that is a boost in their status if they're able to sleep with non-Black women. So there's a lot of self-hate that goes on in the African American Black community in the US with these Black men. Case in point, they always talk about how unattractive they think we are, but they look exactly like us because their mothers look like us. So for them to constantly get on public platforms complaining about Black women and just talking about how horrible of a people we are, but yet you don't see any other race of men doing that. Like, they really believe that they are one-upping us because they wasn't at the bare minimum bottom on that dating app. And the only reason they wasn't is because Black women were looking for them. No other race of women were looking for them. But because outside of the home, Black men have zero power and zero resources in the United States. However, they're still men. And what do we know about men? We know that men love power and men love status. And since the Black man does not have any of that in the US, in order for them to feel powerful, they feel the need to beat up on the only people who are one step below them because we are women. Now,
That's a very damn good point. Talk about a loser's mentality. The Manosphere is a place for men of losers mentality. No matter how you look at it, right now, that's just what it is. It's just what it is. It's like, how are you? She is 100% correct. And believe it or not, Black men have confirmed this, that other races of men do not disrespect their own women nearly as much and consistently as much as Black men do. They try to blame the Black women, but you can't blame Black women because Black women are just minding their own business. And it makes no sense because even if other races of women might do some dirt, they don't talk about that shit all day, every day. Because they know they're men. So that's even white men look at Black men when they talk about Black women. Even white men look at you sideways, Black men. They look at you like, what the hell? Wait a minute. And I'm not talking about the ones that you think the Caucasian men that are liberal. No, I'm talking about all women because it's all Caucasian men. Okay? They're looking at you weird, brother, because they don't do that. It doesn't make sense because Black women are a reflection of you. Okay. Most of you were raised with from a black woman.
No, not really, not anymore.
Yeah.
The
But hey,
reflection
that's what it was.
the reflection has
Most
changed.
of them were raised by black women. So
Right.
basically, the thing is this. When you go to another culture, you will never see them have a market as big as black men do on disrespecting their women.
Right.
Even regular red pill Caucasian men don't go in like this. Now, what's funny is
they usually generalize. They say women. They just say Western women, period. They generalize.
right. And it's only black men specifying black women. And the one Caucasian person that does go in on black women, you guys, because she turned out to be the R word. Okay, now you mad because now she puts you in the mix too, accidentally, as it might seem, because she had a supremacist. She thinks just like dude does. She thinks just like Nick thinks, but you still support him. That's a sucker. So now we had a supremacist Jamaican woman, Chantel Simone, telling you about black women, and then you have a Caucasian hate-filled woman telling you about black women. Do you get the hint? Do you see the clues? Are you connecting the dots? Neither one of them care less about you either. They can care less about you, but you're good suckers. You know, and if you're going to be that insidious, by all means, you know something? You both are meant for each other. Let me kick some shout outs and then we'll move ahead. In the house, all things not a Gene. Big Cap, Gemini, Heathen Queen, Chicago Rilla, King Lucifer. You can't get laid? Henry Mars, Flit.
I want him to qualify. I want all things to qualify that. You said
oh yeah, nosy by nature.
I keep seeing these random videos. Is it more than one content creator or is it multiple content creators? Because as of now, I only know of one content creator that's doing that. And he has it's one guy in one channel that I know of. So if you're talking about multiple channels, let us know, please. Creative Solutions in the house.
Happy Life is in the house.
One thing that black men do have over black women is male privilege. So that simply means that black women, we have to deal with racism as well as sexism within the black community because black men have male privilege. I'm actually going to be doing a video on how black men are the white people of the black community. Because every time black women approach black men and let them know how their behaviors and what they're doing is hurting us, they deny that it even exists. Not only do they deny that it exists, they are dismissive of it, or they'll say, well, not all men. Now, if you look at how they respond to racism and how they want white people to care about racism and police brutality and the things that happen to them as black men, they want everybody to care about that. And you will see them constantly using systemic racism as an excuse that's holding them down, that kicked them at the house, that did this to them, that did that to them. So American black men have placed themselves in the realm of perpetual victimhood. And the only way that they can feel power is by harassing, beating up on, berating, and publicly shaming black women. The reason they're doing it is because Black women, even though we face racism and sexism, we have still found ways to open businesses. We've still found ways to complete college. We've still found ways to earn an income to support our families. And contrary to popular belief, most of us are not on welfare. And for those of us who are getting child support, most of us aren't even getting child support. And those of us who are, child support is only like $286 a month, if that. And most of the time, the guys ain't even paying it. So just because a woman is on child support doesn't mean she's getting child support. So to further answer your question and to wrap all of this up, Black women are not competing with Black men. We're not in competition to see if white people like us. We are not in competition with them. We are not even at war with them. We are simply defending ourselves against the allegations that they are making against us and screaming to the world that we're horrible, shitty people and we can't raise kids. We're all overweight. We all wear weave, despite the fact that I'm literally sitting here with my real hair.
Okay, I need to stop that for a second because this is almost like, I'm going to try to make it so Black men can see this. We love sports. So let's say you're on Team Black, right? And you're playing team whatever. I'm not going to even say anything else. If you're telling the world about other players on your own team you do not like or you don't like what they're doing, does that really help you? Is that really? No, you're literally telling everybody else how to beat your team. Because you ain't, I'm sorry, brothers, until they give you a pill you can take and your color can change and your skin can change and the shape of your face can change. And then, of course, a lot of your mentality can change. Well, oh, my bad. Then you wouldn't be you, wouldn't. But if all of that can change, you're on Team Black. So it's, if you've been on sports teams before and you may have had an issue with a certain player because they weren't spinning the ball to you right, they weren't passing it to you enough or whatever. But the point is this, you guys talk it out in private and then you work it out and it usually works out great. You have great results. But no, you don't even want to do that. You want to go, you don't even go to the coach. You don't even go to the coach. You go and you tell the other teams, oh, we ain't doing this right and we ain't doing that right. And my quarterback can't throw the ball for shit. How is that going to help? That's exactly what you're doing.
So they spread all these fucking lies about us and they will not stop talking shit about us for whatever reason. There's literally nothing for them to gain by constantly shitting on Black women on a public forum. So people like me have decided that enough is enough. And since they want to put all of our dirty laundry out in the public for everybody to fucking see it, as if they don't have dirty laundry, as if they're not the number one arrested, number one drug use, number one homeless, number one filling up nursing homes, number one health issues, number one committing crimes against their own people, number one paying for abortions, number one begging women to get abortions, number one abandoning their kids if the woman doesn't. Even though they come dead last across the board in every single category in comparison to other men, they want to pick on Black women because it makes them feel powerful. It is the only way that Black men in America can feel powerful is by shitting on and berating Black women.
Shout out to Monica in the house, Jenny in the house, Claudette in the house, Gemini in the house, Chicago in the house, Claudette in the house, JP in the house, Henry Mars in the house, all things Nata Jean in the house. Gemini, do you have any thoughts or should I keep this rolling? like to thank Deontay for.
Deontay. Yeah, I was gonna just welcome Deontay to the panel and see what he had to say.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I just want to piggyback off of what DJ just said earlier. That was a great analogy about the team, right? So like if we were a football team and we're up here giving our plays to the opponent, you know, it's self-destructive. And that's something I was thinking about, where the competition that is between black men and black women, whatever you want to call it, it leads us nowhere. It's like she just said, like it does nothing for us to show all of our problems to the world. Now, every group in this world has internal issues. They all do. They just don't publicize it like we do. Like that Just Pearly thing situation is a huge example of, you know, let a white girl come in here and basically take over she basically played referee with this whole stupid situation with black men and black women. But
Deontay, not only that, she took that mess on tour to another country.
Yeah, because see, it's a globe. Like, what I want to know is, what is the end game? Because we can't go anywhere like this as a group or a community. We are a community. We are like we're not a community, and we can't go anywhere. We can't have any power in this world. Black men need black women. Black women need black men. Like, we need each other. The fact that I even have to say that statement is crazy. But we need each other, because without each other, we're not going to go anywhere, and we're always going to get dragged along with wherever white people or the power structure wants to take us. Like, we have no choice but to follow them, because we can't follow anything that we've created. We have nothing. We need each other.
Facts. I want to read Maya LaShawn's comment. She said, I think it's funny. It's very funny how black men say other races of men don't want fat black women. But I just saw an NFL rookie, Jalen Hyatt, on ESPN with his parents. Dad is a handsome, tall white man. Mom is a thick, sexy black woman. You know, black men think they can speak for every race of man, like every race of man on the planet, as it pertains to their attraction to black women.
Yeah, it seems like black men, the only thing they can't really talk about a woman's intelligence because they can't. So it's only an attack, because think about it. Women, the only thing that black men appearance-wise can beat a woman on, and we're barely doing that, if at all, barely doing that, is not physical fitness or shape, because we die before women. Okay, we die because we're not as healthy as black women. Okay,
with the overweight problem, you're still not. They keep harping on, but they're still not as healthy as those overweight women who aren't dying early from heart disease or being 187 on the street by somebody that looks like them. These black women are outliving them, and not just by 5 and 10 years either.
Yeah, I mean, if the Black Manosphere was filled with Denzel Washingtons, then it's like, okay, well, and we're old, slim, trim Denzel, not like the new, you know, well, he's damn near 70, damn, give him a break. But anyway, it's not like I have rarely seen a black man in the Manosphere be like, looks like Michael B. Jordan and be on here complaining about women. They're just not here. They're just not here. So, and that's fine, because not everybody can be, you know, tip top, if you want to call it that. But why are you going to go in on black women, especially when some of you guys, we saw Mr. What was his name? Let It Go or Let Himself Go.
Yeah, Mr. Let Himself Go.
Mr. Let Himself Go in on women that were big. And this dude got a gut. You can't write this shit up. The thing is this, we are not helping black women the way you think we're helping black women by doing the SBE really it's shame and blame, really not explained. Shame has never worked.
Exploit.
Yeah, perfect. Shame, blame, exploit. That's our next life, right there. The thing is this. Really, look at a woman's position and then ask yourself, where am I? Am I making the same money as her? Am I as smart and articulate as her? Am I, now here we go, is my character solid? Do I go on cuss, raid, and rants about really anybody? But do I go on cuss, raid, and rants about women? You guys seem to ignore everything. You make it all about looks when you talk very little about character. And then you have some guy who was a deadbeat when he was alive, who wasn't the best human being when he was alive, he tells you that only money matters. He tells you that women should be submissive to you. Come on, fellas, you know when you've earned that right. You know what you've done in life and what you haven't done in life. You know the women that you did and didn't run through. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Think back. Take a ride through memory lane. Take a ride through memory lane and think about not the women that did you wrong, but the women you did wrong. MTR. Melanie asked him, so what's your body count? This nigga replied, I have no idea. She asked, just give me a rough estimate. This man right here, who calls women 304s, and Gemini, help me out. What was the name he was calling the hood? Hood
booger.
Hood boogers. This nigga right here calling women, black women, hood boogers, calling 304s, and he himself can't even count the amount of women he run through. You need to let that sink in. That's your role model right there. MTR literally called the kettle black. He literally did that. He's out there hoeing himself. That's why I call the manosphere the man hose fear. I mean, they have, and that's why I had to release my little hypocrisy cut, because that difference in, men can't be 304s. You sure can. Because I guarantee you not. If you cannot count the amount of women you slept with, because it's that many, you probably ran through that special one. You probably ran through that special one. The girl for you, you were in run-through mode. You had your opticals all cut off. You could not see the right woman for you, even if she slapped you in the face with a wedding ring. You couldn't. That's why you are where you are right now. You had to be in run-through mode. And you know you were, because your buddies know you did, because you guys congratulated each other on your run-through mode. How many of you guys out there congratulated a man on waiting it out, or the 90-day rule where that literally Melanie Thought King was telling black women not to do? You need to let this sink in. I mean, you guys, hey, you're the ones who told me, DJ Torch, why don't you try to be, a mentor to black men and blah, blah, and this and that instead of just going in on them. Well, I'm being a mentor right now. If your goal is to run through women.
Wait, no. You're holding these
Wait, give me
accountable.
1 second. Give me 1 second. If your goal is to run through women, fuck you. I'm sorry, what are you saying, Gemini?
No, I'm not used to you using that word. I was just saying you were holding them accountable. Like they say that they're doing us. You were just holding them accountable.
Right. Hello,
Evil
all.
Queen to the stage.
Hello, all. It's amazing that even if you wait or even if you give it up, they still leave. They still find an excuse to leave, whether it's a good girl or a 304 or whatever, right? And you can be as skinny as you want. You can be as beautiful as you want. You can be as fat as you want. You can be as thin, heavy as you want. They still leave. So what is it that you want? You apparently don't care whether she's heavy or she's skinny because you're still going to leave.
Facts.
So why are we twisting ourselves and contorting ourselves to change for this, that, and the third, and you still leave, right?
And some of them don't leave. They just become more and more abusive, and they stay up under you to hold you down and to hold you back, because a lot of them are chronic time wasters as well. So it's not even that they leave. They can stay, but they're still cheating, or they're still draining you dry. So no matter where they are in your life, they're adding nothing of value.
Right. And my whole thing is, why are we changing? Oh, okay, they try to shame you into losing weight. They try to shame you into the fact that you have a kid or two or whatever. They try to shame you into the fact that you might have been a 304 or whatever in the past. Try to shame you into all of these things, and yet you still leave. So my advice is, why am I changing myself for you? And it doesn't matter whether I weigh 200 pounds or I weigh 150, or I got real hair or I don't have real hair. You still gonna behave the same way, right? So if you're gonna behave the same way, you can't shame me into losing weight. You can't shame me into being the fact that I was a 304 down the line or whatever. You can't shame me into the fact that because I have one kid, I hit the wall, which is just a fallacy, some kind of weird stuff that they came up with in their mind. So since it doesn't matter what I do, why am I worried about what you think about me? Because if somebody's going to love me, regardless of being overweight, skinny, fat, short, cute, long hair, no hair, weave, whatever, then it doesn't matter what you say. It matters what that person who is looking at me standing in front of me says. If they say they like me with a weave, and they say they don't care whether I have one kid or not, or they say it doesn't matter whether I have 40 extra pounds, why am I listening to folks online tell me that I'm no good because I'm 40 pounds overweight? It doesn't matter, because you guys leave anyway, right? You don't want to be committed.
The Queen, do me a favor and stop saying they leave, because they were never there. And if they were there, they some of them still stay and drag you down. So
right. So it's like you want to make us women do certain things and be certain way. Then you need to change your behavior. I'm not going to be all feminine all day long, and I know you out rolling in my car, picking up other females. when you get home, I'm going off. I mean, I just don't get, if you don't want to change your behavior, how do you expect us to change our behavior? Or what we're not basing our behavior on you, because you're erratic in your behavior anyway, right? So we're not doing that.
Not true, but go ahead.
What's not true?
Everything you basically saying, but Gemini gonna kick me out. She gonna give me a left hook and put me in the backstage. So I try to behave myself here.
So if you already know, just go ahead and behave.
So I'm saying, what do you disagree with? You're gonna do what you want to do regardless. Men are
it's true. You make points. You know, dudes don't know how to stay committed to yeah.
I mean, we became strong and independent women because we could not depend on our men.
I want to get some of these go through some of these comments. Jenny B said they want the women they complain about. True. They just want her to bring everything, including the table, be submissive slave, and don't show that you're actually better than him. Dim your light. Facts.
Right. It's like, look, you want us not to want you for your money, but yet and still you complain about us doing the 50-50 and us having a job and us doing this, that, and the third, but yet you want us to be. I don't understand. I'm confused about all of that. Everything is a contradiction. And it's like, why are we going to contort ourselves into what you keep saying that you want? And you don't even know what you want.
Mm-hmm. Monica M says they definitely don't want to commit to a relationship. Nobody has time to play mind games with them. All these lists of things to keep a man. Get the F out of here. Jenny B says broke, uneducated, overweight, homeless men can't tell me my education, career, home, etc. don't matter.
Right. They want you to pay 50-50, but then they want you to be at home submissive under their tutelage. I don't on it. What? That makes no sense. But yet I got to pay 50-50, but you get mad at me because I want provisions. When I ask for provisions, you want to shame me into saying, "Oh, you ain't gonna get my money." Wait a minute, ain't you the ones who keep telling us we gotta be submissive, we gotta be at home, we gotta learn how to cook, clean,
Well, we already know what they say don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let me read some more of these comments.
Right.
Gwen Johnson says it's a power move. Whatever you are, they will remind you of what you are not. It's to knock you off your square, to ingratiate yourselves to them. Claudette Jones says they need to find something else to talk about because this is overrated. Always talking about Black women. See, what we're doing is just responding back to the degenerate manosphere talking points.
Facts.
All right, let me kick out some shout outs real quick. Claudette Jones is in the house. Tomas is in the house. Gwen Johnson is in the house. Rico is in the house. Monica M is in the house. Hazel Hamilton is in the house. Jenny B is in the house. Woo Said It is in the house. Mika's Jules is in the house. Gemini is in the house. Bridget Mouton is in the house. Happy Life is in the house. A Lady is in the house. Let's keep this going. Oh, Tiff is in the house too.
Go ahead and play, DJ, the video.
Because we're the only demographic that is beneath them. Because Black people in general in this country is not looked at as cream of the crop. And Black women, because we're women, again, they have male privilege. We don't as women. So we got to deal with sexism and racism. They only have to deal with racism. So they berate us and floss their male privilege on this app to try to make us look bad because they don't want people to know that it's possible to overcome racism and sexism because Black women are doing it.
Let me pause it for 1 second. Sam Edmondson, welcome to the chat. Sam says, ladies, these guys sound like boys in men's suits. Sam, they don't even wear suits. They don't even wear suits.
And because they don't want us to look better than them, they do everything in their power to try and make us look like horrible people, which I commend the non-Black women the other black men who are not like that, and the non-black men who have started to make videos sticking up for us and telling these bastards enough is enough.
That's a damn good point. I need to make this clear. There are more non-black videos about black women standing up for black women than there are non-black videos dissing black women. You got to let that sink in. There are more non-black videos defending black women against black men than there are non-black videos disrespecting black women. What does that tell you? In the house, conscious mind love.
Right.
Jenny B says, they try so hard to humble women. It's pathetic how they'll harass women all over social media. Someone can brag about their new degree. Random dust comes along. That don't matter. Can you cook or clean?
I was just about to say that same thing. Why they always want to humble us?
Claudette Johnny says, right, Jenny B, good point. They want us to be the man and the woman by working, paying half on everything, then cook, clean, etc. while they want to just sit around, play Grand Theft Auto. F out of here.
It's like, why do you want to humble us? It's like a jealousy thing, and it's a sad thing to see when you see that much, and when you get to analyzing why are you saying these things. It all comes down to you guys think you're better than us. You women think you're better than us. And she made a great point. We overcame racism in that way. We as black women learn to go to school, learn to go to work first, learn to educate ourselves. We learn to do all of these things despite the fact of us having two negatives in this society. And they want to humble us all the time.
Let me read this comment, and I think it's important. This is Angel Martin. This is one of my girls. I see her all around YouTube. They are campaigning to make white conservatives basically declare war on black women. That's the angle. And I'm a white conservative, so I felt like I had to start calling the play before it started working.
Well said.
Yeah.
She said they can sense the way the wind is blowing, and they want to make black women take the fall because they feel some kind of backlash coming for them. And it's coming for them regardless. And I am so happy that black women are standing back and standing by. But seriously, no, I'm glad black women are standing back and dropping the capes and burning them, because it's beyond time to do so. This is not our fight. We've proven who we are. We've proven what we can do alone. It's black men's responsibility to gather one another up and do what they need to do to make the changes that they need to make to show themselves different to the world. It is not our fight to fight.
Right.
We've done so.
Right. Right.
All right. Rico says the humbling is necessary. If they can't lower women, they cannot. They would
Why
be
you so
forced
low?
to. Huh?
Why you read so low?
Oh, my bad. I think something's up with my mic. They would be forced to have to raise themselves, and they are too effing lazy and dumb to do that. They rather sit around and smoke weed all day. Rico, you nailed it.
Jenny B says they really hate when anyone has
down.
Go ahead.
They really hate when anyone has black women's back on socials. So many of them actually threaten other black men who advocate for black women. It's very wild. And that's another thing we're going to address is black men hate good some black men hate good black men.
Right.
That's where the simpology ideology came from.
Simple.
Gemini, I'm sorry. I'd like to say something. I agree with that when you say that some black men hate good black men. I don't even think it's just a hate. It's more like it's a fear of them, because they force you to be they hold you accountable just from the fact that they exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you see them out there, you see that they're doing the right thing. They enjoying their life. They're not in this nonsense like, I don't want to take nothing serious. Heathen Quinn earlier was talking about men leaving in commitment, right? And I think that there's a group of guys out here who are afraid of commitment because they're afraid of taking anything serious. The men you talking about who want to play games all day and smoke all day, they fear or hate, you know, black men who are serious because they don't want to have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, somebody was calling my phone. But they don't want to have to deal with that. Like, they want everything to be a game. They want everything to be taken easy. So if you get a man and he meets a woman, especially if she's a single woman with no children, right? And they just playing, laid up with each other, having sex, whatever. Soon as she gets pregnant, and now it becomes serious. It's not about the sex no more. Now it's about the baby. We got to handle this. We got bills. He don't want to deal with none of that.
Mm-hmm.
He probably still living with his mom. You know what I'm saying? So his mom is handling all of that. So now it done became serious. So he comes up with everything that he can to get away from her. Oh, she crazy. Oh, she always haggling me. Oh, she this or that. Like, that is a bunch of nonsense for real. Those are sorry ass men. And Gemini, I know you don't like when I say this or any of us say this, but that to me comes down to, like, if you meet a man and this dude is already baby mommied up or whatever, that to me that's just a red flag all the way. That's what I told my sisters and my female cousins.
Wait.
Like,
What don't I like for you to say?
I'm talking about the vetting. You know, the
Oh,
vetting
no.
the man. But I'm not,
Wait. I when did I ever say anything about not saying vetting a man?
no, I'm talking about, we spoke before about how, so, like, even though we can blame the men on this, but sometimes the situations where the red flag is sticking out the dude's forehead, and I've seen women who still go after this guy. I don't know if they think they can change
There's
him
no
or
doubt
whatever.
about that. I don't think you I don't think we've had that conversation, because I
So,
wouldn't excuse that from a woman. Not, holding no, like, you
okay,
made the choice
yeah,
to be
because
with
I'm
someone.
just
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm just saying, like, because I've seen it too many times with people. It did happen to one of my. I got 4 sisters. It happened to one of my sisters, well, 2 of them, to be honest, and the other 2 it didn't happen to. But the ones who it did happen to, they admitted whatever their reasons were. One sister just wanted to have a baby because she just felt like she wanted somebody to love. It wasn't even about the guy. But I'm like, yeah, but you know, but I'm just saying that it's a lot of sorry ass dudes out here, and they are afraid of men who are for real, men who are serious. You know, like, they're afraid of them. They're not even jealous or envious of them. They're just afraid of them. It's crazy.
I think no, envy is the seed of wanting to replace someone and wanting to be someone, and that's what they want. And so in that, it breeds that fear.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's together. It goes hand in hand.
So why
yeah,
is
because
it that?
that's like, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, like, they don't want to put in the same amount of work. It's like somebody who's envious of, like, LeBron James, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I shouldn't use because he's an anomaly, but still, you got to realize the work that he put in to get to where he is. It's thousands of basketball players in college who never make it to the pros. You got to be able to put in that same kind of work. So if a man is out here working hard and put himself in that position to be that kind of a man, you don't want to do that. You just want to hit the lottery and you just become that man. But it don't
But
work
they'll
like that.
never become that man, because what they don't understand is it's far more than money. It is even far more than having a good job. It is your character.
Right,
It's your
Yeah.
right,
character, it's your
right,
heart, it's your determination, and it's your drive.
right. I
And
mean,
so they can't become those men. They see um you want, what is it? You want my story without you want my glory without the story. So you
Yeah.
you want what I have, but you don't want to go through what I had to go through to get to where I am. Again, and it goes back to what I've said time and time again. It's this instant gratification. They want this microwave thing. They see what people have. They don't care that the person had to work hard or do without to get it. They just see where they are, and they envy the spot that this person is in now. And because they have no work ethic, they have no drive, they have no determination, all they have is envy, they seek to destroy it, and they seek to take it. And because they don't know how to handle it, all they can do is be destructive. I want to welcome Rico to the panel. Hey, Rico.
Good evening. Good evening.
Can I ask the young man one question? Just one question.
Let Rico say whatever he was gonna say as an intro, and then you can ask Heathen.
No, I'm just listening. I'm catching up. Just I say what I said in the chat, so I don't have anything to jump in right now.
So,
but I think mostly everything I heard has been pretty much spot on or very close. Anyway,
I just have one question. Why is it that it's always the woman who has to make a better choice? Why isn't it men are not required to make a better choice? I've always heard that's what I've heard around the internet. When you need to choose better. Why you guys can't choose better?
Oh no, you're right about that. But what I mean is that the men, okay, so a sorry man like that I was just describing, right? He's not worried about making the right choice in a woman because he's just trying to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's the same thing for us. Because trust me, we have to make the right decision. I don't have any children. I could have had 50 children by now. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. If I wanted to, especially with the wrong females, I used to joke with my mom a few years ago before she got her first grandchildren. She always want grandkids. I say, Mom, you better stop saying that, or I'm gonna go get some hood rat pregnant. Just messing with her. But like, we have to make the right decision as well. It's just that, like you were saying about in this society, women are 99% of the time burdened with having to deal with raising the children on their own when the union doesn't work.
Whether there's a child or not. Yeah, whether there's a child or not, the woman bears the brunt of the aftermath.
Yeah,
right.
So don't worry, because on the men's channels, and I'm not talking about the Manosphere. I'm talking about other spaces that I'm in. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like, we have to make the right decision on the women that we choose to procreate with. I was just talking to my brothers about this. Like, all of us brothers, we all, like, half my brothers are married. The ones who are not, we talked about we got to get married, because we have to be that next generation to pick up our family. Because right now, most of our families are probably like this, but it's in shambles, and it doesn't matter what anyone really, at the end of the day, if the men are not standing up, then the community's going to fall down, the family's going to fall down, because a single mother has to still raise her sons to be men, so I just think like the men just have to stand up. But yeah, don't worry though, Heathen Queen, like men have to make the right decision too, Well,
thank you for that answer. Thank you.
We're going to move on to the next video.
So a white guy is almost 45% less likely to get a divorce if he marries a black woman than if he marries a white woman. It's actually shocking that it's that high. Marriages including a black husband and a white wife were more prone to divorce than those composed of black husbands and black wives. So black men are the best off with black women, and they're the worst off of any racial pairing. So Hispanic and black, white and black, white and Hispanic, Asian and Hispanic, out of all the pairings, a black man and a white woman are the least successful statistically. White women are most likely.
What did she say?
What she's saying is, in a nutshell, is that when black men marry outside of the black race,
She said black women.
Oh, they have the best.
We got the best.
Yeah,
No. Black women are the ones who lose when they marry a black man. That's the point I'm getting.
Oh.
Black women lose by and large when they marry a black man because their economic status does not increase. They're more likely to be divorced. They're more likely to be left with children.
And she also stated that black women who marry white men, their marriage rates are more successful, even black women marrying black men.
Better than, yeah,
Better
better
than.
than.
But
I thought I
it's
heard that
reversed.
it was better than any pairing.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
worse
it is.
when
But
it's
she's
the
gonna go.
other
I
way.
just wanted to stop it there. I didn't want to
Mhm.
really delve too deep into it because she's gonna go on. Let me
It's
read
good to point that out though, because
Yeah.
that's weird. Like you know, I'm okay with interracial marriages for anybody, but why do black men fail so miserably at it, and black women are so successful at it?
Because black women are not the problem.
Right. But I got that, Gemini. I agree.
Claudette Jones says black women are the blame for earthquakes. Black women are the blame for the pandemic. Black women are the blame for white supremacy. Black women are the blame for everything, huh? These dudes choose to be degenerate, but then blame on single mothers. See, here's the thing. When they blame others for their demonic ways, that goes to show that they refuse to change or take accountability. I added that, or take accountability on.
To have a marriage end in divorce than any other race of women. And that's where I get into how it is beneficial for white women to know this. And it's nothing that we should be like offended by or anything like that. Again, these are statistics. People have lives that go against statistics every day. Now, here's another similarity between white men and black women. Black women make the least amount when they're with a black man. A white man makes the least amount of money when he's with a white woman. So that is kind of unique. Okay, but this is what I really wanted to get into because this is shocking. Of all the pairings, right? So the white man with the black woman is the most successful of all interracial pairings, right? That is with the fact that a white husband and a black wife are more likely than any other racial pairing to be going into that marriage as a second marriage with children, both of which substantially make divorce far more likely. So imagine if white men and black women didn't have to wait until they were like 50 and divorced with kids to realize that they're actually a good match. You know, imagine if people were kind of more open from the beginning, just how even more likely to be in successful marriages a white man and a black woman would be.
Pause it.
I asked my husband, I was like,
Deontay, what are your thoughts?
On that, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. As much as black men, you know, like white women, white men love their white women more than anything. So, you know, I just want to say that. But if you're talking about, so she said that a black woman who marries a white man after both of them have already been married and divorced, bringing in children, she said that they are more successful, what, like financially together than any other couple?
Financially,
emotionally,
and their marriages last longer.
Right, less likely to get divorced with all of
But I
those.
wonder what percentage of married people are that demographic though? Because I mean, I know, because if you look at it, yeah, it has to be. You know what I just thought about? It has to be very small, but
Why
just from a public.
Why are you trying to tear that
What's
down?
it? No, I'm saying from a public standpoint, look at all of the black women, like just from the look at Kamala Harris. Look at the celebrity black women who are married to white men. They're like, if you look at like Eve, Serena Williams, Kamala Harris, even though Eve and Serena Williams are a rapper and an athlete, right? The men that they're married to are businessmen, business white men. And Kamala Harris is married to a billionaire. Like, I think Ketanji, the new Supreme Court justice, I believe, isn't she married to a white man also?
Yeah.
They met in college.
Okay. So I'm just saying that I think that there might be something to that.
But
Something to
also,
what? Wait,
Something to what?
Rico.
yeah, okay,
Wait.
okay.
Something to what?
To wondering why would a, and I'm not being, I don't know how to, why would a successful white man
There you
want
go.
to marry a black woman when he
Why
has
would
his
they?
own race?
Why
Yeah,
would
yeah,
they?
because
Why
no, no,
would
and
Because
they?
I
okay,
don't mean it.
why
I
do
don't. Yeah, but no, no.
wait. No. Why? What you mean? Why would like as if again? Do you hear yourself?
Yeah,
I know,
no, but
right?
listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying it from black women are not worth marrying. Of course, I'm not saying that.
That's
But what I'm
exactly
saying is
what
that
it sounds like.
no,
Because what you're
I'm
not
saying
wait. What you're not factoring in is a lot of people marry in proximity to one another. A lot of people marry people that they work with, people that are in the same industry as them, people that they're around. So I'm confused by what you're trying to get at right here. You know, I'm trying to have patience and
Here's
figure
that
out.
humbling. Here's that humbling again.
No.
no,
Let him say
no, no,
whatever it is.
no, no. Yeah, okay. And so this is what I mean. China, for example, in Nigeria, in certain places in Africa, you can't buy land there unless you unless you are born there, you are native. So the Chinese were sending their men
Okay,
over there,
wait,
marrying.
Deontay.
No,
Can we stay on this continent?
no. I know what you're saying, but what I mean is there's always something behind it. Like for
No.
example,
But you're saying you're trying to say that there was financial gain for these men, and that's the only reason they're with these black women.
oh no, I'm not saying that the financial gain because all the men who I just said, the women who I said marry white men, their husbands are richer than them. It's not that they're not making more money off of these black women, you know. So, but I'm saying I wonder what it is because black men, like when we marry out,
Deontay, can I give you a little advice?
what's that?
You have my shovel, you have Heathen Queen shovel, you have every woman shovel in the chat, and you're using all of them at one time to dig yourself in a hole, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to get up out of it.
Okay. Look, I'm not saying that black women aren't worth marrying. I'm just
But
wondering.
that's the way it's coming across because you're saying you don't understand why they would want to marry a black
I
woman.
just told y'all earlier that I want to get married and I'm gonna marry a black woman. I don't.
No.
believe
And you
in
know what it
interracial
sounds like? Now it sounds like ownership.
ownership.
Now it sounds
How
like
is that
ownership.
ownership?
Because you're saying, I just said I wanted to marry a black woman, so therefore what I'm saying is she's worthy of being married. Just what I'm saying is she's only worthy of being married to me. I just don't see why a white man would want to marry the black woman that I want to marry.
Right.
No, I don't want to marry. Look, I don't want to marry none of them. I'm just talking about. I'm just saying from which I guess we'd never be able to
Hey,
talk about
everybody.
because from a white man's standpoint, you know,
That's
because they have different white
insulting.
men like they just have a different agenda. Like
It's
their agenda
insulting.
is way. No, I
Okay,
don't think it's.
wait a second, Deontay. Welcome, Tam. Okay, so Deontay, okay, I promise you I'm trying to read on the same sheet of music as you. Are you saying this from a standpoint of you don't trust white people's intentions, or you
Yeah, no, I don't trust. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust. Nothing comes from these people as a collective like that at all. They showed us throughout history to the present. Okay, that we
Okay.
can't trust.
Okay,
So what I mean
that's
is like,
something different, but you should actually have led with that because it didn't sound that way. It sounded like something completely different. So we're going
no,
like
I'm like, yeah, I
we're
don't have
going
no
left.
problem like with because
We're going
that was
left.
about to be crazy because I don't have no issue with black women at all. Like I'm just saying that from a white man's perspective,
But
especially
you can't
somebody.
speak for white men.
I know that's why all I said is I wonder why.
Okay.
You know, because
Okay, let's move forward.
yeah.
Actually, I want to ask him a question about that because I was watching and I was confused by the statement also. Sir, your name is Deontay?
Yeah.
Hi, Deontay. So yeah, I was like watching and I hopped on. I'm not going to be here long. But yeah, you said before the ladies cut you off and they wanted you to clarify your comment. I heard you specifically said, why would a white man want to be with a black woman? And before you continued with what you said, the ladies were saying, what do you mean by that? I still don't get it. What truly did you mean by that statement?
Well, it's like I said, the men that I brought up, those I think I brought up 3 different black women. Okay, and then I brought up that the men who they were married to are not. They're all businessmen. They're all highly successful, right? And I was wondering which I can't answer because I don't know. But I'm just saying, I wonder why they would want to marry a black woman, you know, and it's
Why
because
not? Why? But Deontay, why are you
because of
wondering
the
that? Why are you wondering that? So you don't think
because I wonder
successful?
no, I do believe out there that I do believe that, hey, it's white men out there who fall in love with a black woman to get married. I see them all the time. I'm not tripping about that. I'm talking about at that level, these white men have agendas, you know, like these people are playing a chess game on the whole planet, you know, like, so everything that they do, everything that they do is strategic. I mean, you see Mark Zuckerberg, when he married,
On that level, you think a white man who is successful, why would they want to be with a black woman? So there must be an agenda, because there's no way in hell a successful white man would want to be married to a black woman. Really?
Right.
No, I'm saying that they all have an agenda. Okay,
Now
so what
they
I mean,
all have,
so when you look at
but you
when
specified Serena Williams' husband and Eve's husband, successful white men. I believe one of them is a billionaire. Now you're saying, well, they all have a. With all due respect, sir, I
I'm
think you're
talking
trying to
about the
clean
men
up
on,
what you.
yes, the men on that. Serena's husband co-founded Reddit, which is a huge
Thank you. I'm aware of
information
that. I
sharing
know.
site. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, and like I said about Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg didn't marry a black woman; he married a Chinese woman. But the woman that he married is a family member of the most prominent family in China. Like, so what I mean, so he didn't do that on accident. That's all I'm saying. Is that everything that they do is like it's like a chess move for them. That's all. I'm not saying that black women aren't worth marrying. You know what I'm saying? Like Aliko Dangote is the richest black man in the world. He's married black women.
Okay, so Deontay, a regular middle class white guy with a black woman, does he have an agenda too?
No, probably not.
Okay. So the regular middle class white guy with a black woman, that's love, that's fine, no agenda there. But a successful rich white man with a black woman, that's suspicious to you? Because he's so rich, why would he be with a black woman? He must have an agenda, really?
I said that I wondered why. I don't know definitively. I don't know.
Okay, I can let you know.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a situation. I'm not. If you think that I'm saying that a black woman doesn't deserve to marry a rich white man, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
No, what
they
you're
are
first
playing
of
a
all,
different.
love is love. So I'm not against interracial relationships on any part. So that's absolutely not what I'm saying. But see, this is the thing, Deontay. With all due respect, I know exactly what you're insinuating. You're insinuating because when I gave this scenario, okay, what if it's just a regular, middle class white guy with a black woman? You were quick to say no agenda there. But when it
No,
comes
that,
to a white man who happens to have means, who's successful, who's a billionaire, him being
it's
with a
not even.
black woman, I wonder why. There must be an agenda there, because it's like you're insinuating that somebody of that status could never be interested in a black woman.
No, they could definitely be interested in the black women. They
Could
want
never
to
want to marry a black woman. Why would a rich, successful white man marry a black woman? Oh, the regular middle class white guy. Yeah, I get
Okay,
that.
listen, I just want to say, first off, I think everything that I said is just misconstrued. Maybe it's my fault the way I said it, but I am not saying it. I mean, I've been on here enough for you guys to know I'm not against black women. So this is like getting ridiculous.
Sir, I didn't say you were against black women. I didn't say you were
Yeah.
against black women. I'm just talking about the statement that came from your mouth and then the subsequent explanation you gave. I mean, it's okay. I know what you're truly saying, and you're saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. I believe that's truly what you're saying. I think you've just, because you said it out loud and you realize how it sounds, I do think you're
So
backtracking a little
I
bit.
think because I said it out loud, and I guess I didn't give it a great enough context. But I'm saying that everything, these people are great at manipulation.
I get what
Everything
you're
has
saying, Deontay.
has a true
It
purpose
has
behind it.
everything. What you're saying has everything to do with your distrust of them, as opposed to black women or black men. It's your distrust in their in
Oh,
their in.
please. That's not what he's saying.
That's what he
That
said. So I
that
agree with.
is
I
That,
agree. If that's
that's
what he
not
said,
no.
I agree with it.
That's not. He claims
wait, wait.
that's what he's really saying, but it's not what he's really saying. Because
What
again,
what
the
what do you
example
think
I
I'm
gave.
saying?
Come on.
Okay, because
Whatever.
we're not going to stay stuck on this hill. We're not going to die on this hill. We're going to move forward.
Yes, thank you, DJ Torch. We'll move forward, DJ Torch.
You're welcome, Tam.
Damn, DJ Torch, what happened to your voice?
It's more beautiful. That's all. It's just
It's
coming
more
out more
beautiful?
beautiful. Yes.
Well, DJ Torch, I liked your old voice. What
Oh,
happened
too
to it?
bad. We've moved on.
DJ Torch, are you alive? Blink if you're in danger.
Anywho,
Blink if you're in danger, DJ Torch.
go ahead, DJ. Where's the next video?
Yep, go ahead, DJ Torch. DJ Torch, where's the next video? DJ Torch?
Oh, my bad.
DJ
Shoot. The mute button gets me again. I got to go start over again. I got to start over again.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is George Lucas
Yeah.
from Modesto, California, not far from where I lived. Well, actually pretty far, about an hour and a half away. Okay. He's a Star Wars. He's the legend. He made the Star Wars thing happen. I assume he's either close or is a billionaire. But more so than that is that he is legend. He can literally walk into any studio in Hollywood and they will open up their checkbooks to him. Okay? The point I'm trying to make is this. It's really nothing to do with even whatever the debate or whatever that was going on between us in the chat, but it's important to make this clarification for all the people out there in the clouds and all the people that will see this after we are done. So he was married to Marsha Griffin for a while, and then he moved on over 10 years ago to Melody Hobson. He's quite happy with her, and he's quite proud of her because she's been the CEO of major companies. Starbucks, chairwoman of Starbucks, DreamWorks Animation. That's I think that's her husband's gig thing too. I mean, she's high powered, folks. This is a genius Black woman. Okay. And believe it or not, Black men, we better get our act together, because when Caucasian men start finding out how great of a deal Black women are, they're going to jump on this bandwagon. So if you don't, you might, you think if you want to be all nitpicky and you all want to be all, cook and clean. I can tell you one thing. Let me bring up Melody right here. I'm sorry, my bad. That's Melody right there. I can tell you one thing. She ain't cooking and she ain't cleaning. The only thing she's cooking are millions of dollars for other people. You need to let that sink in. Black women are geniuses. It's not, you can't say, well, George Lucas is dumb. You're going to tell me George Lucas is dumb, and that's why he said this is the argument that black manosphere men would make. They say, George Lucas is dumb. He doesn't. Yeah. Nigga, please. So this is the value. This is the value you're complaining about. This is the value, manosphere men, you are complaining about. This is, you guys always want to talk about you guys all out there always wanted to talk about, black women, she ain't twerking, but you worried about that shit. But you ain't saying shit about Melody Hobson. I ain't seen one of you cover Melody Hobson. Not a one. Not a one. Oh, black women want to twerking. They don't want to clean. They don't want to cook. She's cleaning and cooking millions of dollars. Oh, they don't get quality black men. They don't get quality black men. No, they don't. No, they don't get quality Caucasian men. They don't get quality cook. Nigga, please. I need to make this clear because what you need to know is all that stuff about twerking and the Freaknik. You guys are focused on that. You should be focusing on how you can get yourself a Melanie Hobson if you're up at that level. And if you're not, you need to find out how to get to that level. If you want a Melanie Hobson, if you want this woman right here, you better get to work. You better get to work. You better get to work. You say, oh, you want quality? Well, here you go. My eyes are bad. I'm going to try to read this real quick, but I'm going to try. Melody Hobson is an American businesswoman who is president and CEO of Ariel Investments and the chairwoman of Starbucks Corporation. She is the former chairwoman of DreamWorks Animation, having stepped down after negotiating the acquisition of DreamWorks Animation SKG Incorporated by NBC Universal in August 2016 and 2016. I think she sounds like she's a billionaire or close. Let me keep going. Remember black men out there. Remember black men out there. This is your woman right here doing her thing. But you want to talk about twerkers. This is why I am so hard on you. Because quite honestly, you either ignore Melody Hobson's or you run through them. You need to make up your damn mind what you want to do with your life. If you want quality in your life, you have to be quality. You have to be quality. Do not be. I'm done. I'm about to get mad. Let me calm down here. Okay. Welcome to the stage, Rico.
Hey, I think I did want to say this. I think what the gentleman got I think we're I don't know. I don't think it was his intent, but when you made the statement about why would a white man want to be with a black woman? Like the woman that DJ just talked about, Melody Hobson, all of Robert De Niro wives were black women. Black men for decades have always been attracted to Black women. Black men can appreciate the appreciation that men of other races do have for women, because men in these spaces have such a disdain for these Black women for whatever reason. So you can't think the things that you may hate that everyone else hates or no one else likes it. So that's what causes you to have this, well, I don't understand why they would want it, because they see the value in something that you or we, and I'm saying all Black men, because all Black, I see a Black woman with a white guy, I'm not surprised by it at all. I'm like, that guy sees the same damn thing that I see and a lot of other Black men see. They see beauty, they see strength, they see intelligence, they see dignity, they see grace. And at the end of the day, while I do think wealthy white men do move differently, at the end of the day, every man wants to be loved. And a white guy saying, I'm gonna have a white wife and end up with a high chance of divorce. And I don't hear about a lot of rich Black women, even when they do divorce their white husband, I don't see them taking them to the bank, like these white women do. So I think if I was a wealthy white man, I would be looking to date outside my race. I would be fucking scared to date a white woman if I was a wealthy white man, because I'm like, that is the one group of women, of all women, that in a court of law for some reason seem to get a level of justice greater than Asian, Hispanic, and Black women when it comes to suing their husband. And I'm saying it's justifiable. So that just does land flat. It does. I think I know what you meant, but it sounded like the way it comes off, it does sound like you look at, why would a wealthy white man want to be with a Black woman? In my ears, it rang that you looked at them as of lower value, and I just don't see how.
There's a lot of men that are attracted to Black women, but they still think they're low on the low end of the scale. There's a lot of Black men that are attracted to Black women, but they still think they're not worth the effort.
There was a survey done that was asking white men, if they were attracted to Black women, why wouldn't they marry them? And the two reasons they gave was societal and political.
Yep. But the attraction is, I was getting ready to say that is, and I think that's a construct even for Asian men. I mean, ethnically, people feel pressured to marry within their race, but it doesn't mean inherently inside the person. It takes a lot to break out being a Black man married to a Hispanic wife. And even at my old ripe age, it still is pressure. You just say, fuck it. This is the woman I love and I don't care, but it always is pressure. I'm glad I live in a more progressive area, so I don't have to. I could imagine if, me and my wife were living together, even in her home country, or if we were living together in Alabama somewhere, or, it's still in 2023, a certain amount of pressure. So I think everybody feels an initial level of pressure, as did I. My first two wives were African-American, to marry within their race. But then it gets to a point where you just feel like, look, if you lived enough life, then it gets to a point where the most important thing to you is somebody that loves me and I love them and can trust them. And I don't give a damn what color they are at that point. That's what life teaches you. You drop that, oh, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be that, if you've been burned enough times. So, I mean, if I was a divorce and I want to get married again, it would probably be enough. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have a preference, but that's what life taught me. The preference is I want to be fucking happy.
And that's it. That's genuinely a preference is not something. See, these men use preference to coddle or to cover the racism. Because when you say I'll never date a Black woman as a Black man, then that's not a preference. that there is no a preference is saying, I love Coke, but I'll drink Pepsi. If I, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
My preference is Coke, but I will drink Pepsi. But
Right.
for a black man to say that he'll never date a black woman, his
Right.
preference is such and such. No, you're
That's not a
covering up
preference.
your racism. You're covering up your self-hate.
Thank
Right.
you. Yeah.
Right. And Rico tied up what I was saying earlier. It doesn't matter what people look like or what you present as. It's the person who wants to look at you and see the beauty in you, regardless of whether you're black, white, fat, skinny, tall, or thin. That's important. All this other stuff is not important. You thousands of men wanting us black women to lose weight or us black women not to be ratchet. It makes no difference what that the collective think. It matters what that individual person thinks when they see this other person. If they're attracted to that person, regardless of whatever they present themselves is, that's it. I don't worry about whether you think all black women should be thin. I don't worry about whether you think I should be short or skinny or tall or non-ratchet or whatever. I don't worry about those things. I just go out into the world and present myself as I am, and whoever is attracted or whoever I'm attracted to, that's where I gravitate to. It has nothing to do with whether I'm going to be ashamed of the fact that I'm 40 pounds overweight or whatever. Because it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the person who looks at me thinks. That's it.
And I want to say this. I've always thought, like my wife taught me, like every woman wants to feel at one time in their life where a man looks at them like they're the only woman or the most beautiful woman in the world. And I feel bad because I think about like how many black women who may go through their lives, be in relationships, and may even be in relationships, but never have that look, like never feel like anyone ever looked at them that way. I know as a man, for me, it was like, I'm with someone who makes me feel like they love me more than I love myself. And that was so weird because previously, I never really felt that before. Even with the first couple of times I was married. I mean, I wasn't unhappy, but I never thought either one of my previous wives loved me more than I love myself. This wife makes me feel like I'm like, fuck, she care more about me than I care about me.
Well, see,
and that's a really, really, really good feeling. So
it's not a matter of what. It's not a matter of what. How you. It's not a matter of how you feel. It's a matter of how they make you feel about yourself.
And when it came to that, I was like, I didn't give a fuck what color she was. I was like, I ain't letting this go. Because I had never felt that before. I'd never felt in my life someone loved me more than I loved me. And I was like, I can't let this shit go. And I work every day not to fuck it up, even though sometimes I'll be getting close. You know what I'm saying? That scares me, right? Because, I'm like, we've been together. We celebrate. Oh, today is my 9-year anniversary. We've been together for 11 years.
Congratulations.
But thank you. But I worry about that because I be doing all the fucking up, But and I'm like, I'm not gonna get this again, and it scares me because I know I never had it before, so I know I'm not gonna. So at that point, I think that's when you meet somebody like that, and you're like, you don't give a fuck what color they are. You be like, I ain't letting this go. Fuck this shit.
Right.
So that's what I think happens.
Nice.
Before we move over, I want to move on. I want to get in some shout outs and some chats in the way. Here we go. Siobhan's in the house. Monica's in the house. You Can't Get Laid is in the house. Jenny B is in the house. We have Big J in the house. We have Claudette Jones in the house. We have Prism in the house. We have Melanated Vessel in the house. We have Tomas in the house. We have Bridget in the house. JP is somewhere up in the clouds. I know you in there, JP. And Henry Marsden's in the house. A lady is in the house. We're going to keep it going. We are going to keep it going. Okay.
How could it be this stark? Like, does it really just boil down to gratitude? And he was like, you know what, Cassie, I think it does. It's like, hey, we're both like the people that get, all the crap from our respective communities. It's relatable. Like they can kind of relate on that level. That's my guess as to why, even despite all the odds against them, the white man and black woman is the most successful racial pairing. For black men, you hear a lot of the blame for the low marriage rates, for women not being compliant, women not being submissive, they're not feminine enough, they're not, this or that enough. I mean, it turns out that when black women date interracially, they tend to actually be capable of being, good wives and having successful long-term relationships with other races of men, whereas black men can't really say the same. When they're matched with other races of women, they're even less likely to be successful than if they're with black women. And white women and black men are the absolutely least successful of any racial pairing. So these issues going on where black women are the ones most commonly blamed for the breakdown of the black family, white men tend to be most commonly blamed for the breakdown of the white family. And really, most of the statistics and studies and surveys tend to show that it's the exact opposite. Really, the common denominator in these are actually the black man and the white woman.
All right. All right. Before we move forward, it looks like Chester showed up. watch the whole live go go empty. No, I'm just kidding. Chester's here, and to the stage we have Tony and Big J. Tony, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good, DJ.
Sounds good. It's good seeing you on here. How's
Likewise.
everything? Where you at? I was about to almost mistakenly say where you are, but I caught myself.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I was gonna say that lady earlier. She made a good point. She says that she presents herself as herself, and whoever accepts her, that's who she's gonna go to. That's pretty much the magic pill to get, to win that love is whoever appreciates you and love you who you are. All these dating coaches is teaching guys how to chase someone that don't love them back. That's all.
Well said. Very well said. Big J, how about you?
All I want to say.
Okay, well, I somewhat agree with Cassie West, and I do know Cassie West. I do know her husband, David. Now, having said that, I find it peculiar.
Was that Cassie in the TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She's a regular on my panels. But anyway, since somebody said I send white women to attack black women, like what somebody on the panel had done the other day.
Wait, Big J, your mic's a little choppy, but go ahead. Let's see if we can work through it.
Okay. But I find it peculiar that we got people on here who said black men are destroying the community. That's why I'm going to date out. Then though you got white women like Chelsea Handler who come on Sirius XM and say white men are destroying the world, so we're going to date black men. I find that kind of odd though. Okay, how come these women talking about they're going to the opposite race because they're blaming their men, and at the same time you got white women on the same talking about the white male counterparts. I find it odd though, because if black men is all bad, then you're going to a race of men that white men are saying that are destroying the planet.
How many white women have you heard say that?
I said Chelsea Handler.
The comedian. How many women outside of her?
Some of them TikTok videos that some of y'all try to ignore.
Yeah, but that's a portion of how many people get on there and say black men are the worst partners. That's a portion. Because we can go all around the internet and see preferences, see black women, see gay guys. All of them say we have a problem with the black men. But you come up and say there's a portion of white women who say they have a problem with their white men. I think it's a small portion compared to the complaints we have.
Can we see? The thing is though, I don't hang around just in the black sector of YouTube. I go on other sector of YouTube. I see them talking about how white men are destroying the planet.
Okay,
Y'all chasing after these men who are destroying the planet, who are accused of being destroying the planet.
But can I ask a question? What would make you believe there will be a mass exodus of white women?
I know you said that.
I know, but I'm
I know
saying
they brought that up.
I didn't say you
I'm
said
talking about the hypocrisy.
I'm asking as a question because you preposition it as if white women are doing the same thing, and I agree with the sister. Like one or two or a TikTok or two who's just doing it for views, I could care less because I don't see any sizable number of white women choosing to leave men of resources to go to a group of men of lesser or no resources.
I'm talking about, Uncle, is the hypocrisy and the dishonesty of how some people try to reason with their anti-blackness. That's what I'm on.
Okay, that's fair. But what I'm saying is, so if the counter side, I get, like I said, we're saying that the black women, for whatever their reason is here, I can't give any credence to Chelsea Handler, or I wouldn't care if it was 100 white women that said, because we know they're not about to leave spaces of resources and wealth to go to spaces of no resources and wealth. And I'll say the vast majority of black,
if that was the case, hold on. If that was the case, then how come two of those women who's in your fan base will make a rich black man similar to the dusty broke beta male?
Okay, so you breaking up a little bit. That's why I want to make sure I get you correct.
Big J, try to leave out and come back in. We'll wait for you. We'll just play another video while you.
No. I'll say right here, I'm gonna leave because those so-called black women don't see. They see the rich black man and the poor black man one and the same. That's what I'm talking about.
Because the attitude is the same. Because the attitude is the same. Has nothing to do with money. Because
wait a minute. The attitude is the same.
Right.
So the attitude is
Big J. What she's saying is this. Let me clarify that before you answer. What she's saying is that the attitude is the same to the black woman, but it changes. The attitude changes when he gets with a white woman.
Right.
No, we're not talking about that. See, you're moving the goalposts where my argument at. We're talking about the hypocrisy on how she sit there and view men, rich and poor, as the same. But when old boy talk about, well, white women, why would they really leave resources? Well, if there's a resource for black man, he'd be talked down upon as if the black man was poor and broke.
I wish I could reply, but I can't understand. Your mic's just dropping out too much. I guess it dropped out.
I just think that's a silly argument, because even if we're going to talk about resources, there's no comparison for the percentage of black men of means and resources comparable to the percentage of white men. That's just laughable on its face. I'm not saying that there are not some black men of wealth and resources, but I'm like, what, like 100% of the female population is supposed to fight for the 5 of them?
Right.
Whereas a white woman, you would know, okay, any white woman can say, okay, I have a much greater chance of being with a white man of resources than the percentage of a black girl saying I have that equal percentage of chance of being with a black man of resources. It's incomparable, because the percentage of black men at the top of the food chain of wealth and resources is so much significantly smaller. It's way smaller on the black side. So all our little black girls, they got very few princes. It's like one prince and 1 million black girls, where in the white side, it's 1 million white girls, and at least there's 200,000 white princes. They got more white princes to choose from than black girls. So the resource argument is not the same, because that reality isn't large enough in the black community. I'm just clearly here to say it. Black women face a dearth of black men of comparable resources to say, and that's why black women say, hell, I can get that on my own. White women can't say that, because the wealth that these white men accomplish most of them know it's hard for them to reach that level. But for what most of black men have, most of black women can get. They can get a job, get to school. Like, hell, nigga, I can get what you got. Oh, you making 100K? Big deal. That's nothing.
Yeah, I think his argument. I think he
But
was.
Rico, but black women aren't saying that. And
No.
when you say that, it makes it seem like that's what black women are saying. But that's not it.
No.
That's what black men are accusing black women of doing. But black women aren't saying that.
No, I'm not saying that they're saying it. I was trying to counter his argument about the Chelsea Handler thing. Like, all of a sudden tomorrow we're going to look over and all these white women are going to be leaving white men to go to, I'm not even going to say black men. They ain't going to Asian men. They ain't going to Hispanic men because they still have lesser resources than the place that they're coming from. I wouldn't leave white men. Like, hell no. Why am I going to leave? That's like, who's going to leave? If you're already in that space, who's going to leave a rich man for a poor man? And the poor man is not any better than the rich man. It's not
When
like
you have a sense of entitlement and you don't know what you have and you don't value, it's the same dynamic. Black men and white women have the same dynamic.
Right.
The white women aren't appreciative of what they get from the white man. And black men aren't appreciative of what they get from black women.
No, that's true.
So that's why they connect so well. That both of them are fighting for victimhood, and they both see themselves as victims.
Right.
And so they make well together as a result of that.
And on top of the fact that he was it's like, look, you're saying what he's saying is, why is it that we, regardless of whether the black man has money or he doesn't have money? Take, for example, that young gentleman who was on the panel earlier. He was saying, well, why would a white man want to marry a black woman? Right. I took it very offensively. So the whole point is, my point was, regardless of whether you have money in black and you're poor in black, you still don't look at the black woman as having value. That's why. Go ahead.
No,
that's why I was trying to argue with the gentleman. Neither one of them think of a black woman as having value, and he calls himself a good guy. The guy who was on the panel. So
I never said that.
Wait,
No,
wait.
again.
Let her, no. We're not doing that. We don't do that over here. Let her finish saying what she was saying.
But that's not what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm saying it doesn't matter whether the gentleman has money or he doesn't have money, black or not. You all still have a negative view, or the bulk of you all, black men, have a negative view against the black woman, regardless of whether you have money or you're poor. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and this turned into something that it wasn't supposed to be, because this is not about an interracial. That wasn't the bulk of what this live was supposed to be about. So we're going to move forward, because we're stuck in this place that just really didn't have a place. It was only to prove a point about the economics of black women, and so we're moving forward.
So where am I saying that was anti-black?
So we're moving forward, Big J.
No, honest.
Big J,
No.
DJ, can you,
I think people should be honest. People should be honest.
Big J, your mic is still clicky. Do you have good Wi-Fi where you're at? Okay.
Play the video.
Month, there are about 450,000 families drawing welfare checks in California. Every 2 weeks, the mailman delivers a check to the home of Cynthia Jones. She, her husband, and 2 children collect $423 a month. Mrs. Jones has been on welfare nearly 4 years. Her husband has not worked since last December. Twice a month, she follows the same routine. First, she cashes the check at the supermarket, then goes to another part of town to purchase food stamps, $71 worth every month. The stamps buy $170 worth of groceries. There's rent, about $170. Utilities run $45, and she has a small insurance policy on her 3-year-old daughter. Other expenses eat up the rest.
Today's video is going to be unpacking the myth that Black women kicked Black men out of the house in exchange for welfare. So we're going to be examining exactly what happened. So for starters, the program was created under the name Aid to Dependent Children by the Social Security Act of 1935 as part of the New Deal, in which was created as a means to tested entitlement, which subsidized the incomes of families where fathers were deceased, absent, or unable to work. It provided a direct payment of $18 a month per one child and $12 for a second child. In 1994, the average payment was $420 a month, which was enough to kick men out of the house. The civil rights movement and efforts of the National Welfare Rights Organization in the 1960s expanded the scope of welfare entitlements to include Black women. So even though welfare was initially created for white women who were widows or divorced, we didn't even get included into the welfare being welfare recipients until the 1960s, because of course it was not created for us, and racism was alive and well back then. So we weren't even allowed to get it. Then we have a number of states enacted a so-called man in the house rule, which disqualified families if there was an adult male present in the household whatsoever. This was part of the broader attempt to discourage welfare dependency by the underdeserving, and particularly Black families where the man didn't have to work or where the woman had a relationship with the man who did not take care of the family. And then it says the man in the house rule was struck down in 1968 by the Supreme Court in King versus Smith case. So let's put this into perspective. Black women were not even allowed to be on welfare until the 1960s. And by 1968, the whole man in the house rule got taken to court and it was thrown out. So that whole rule wasn't even in place for a full decade, and we weren't even allowed to receive welfare. So this whole issue happened for about maybe 5 years of having the man in the house rule. But let's have a closer look at the man in the house rule. So there was a research paper done on the welfare law, Aid to Dependent Children and the Substitute Parental Regulation. The state loses a scapegoat with the man in the house rule. So we're going to look at the actual court papers that got this thrown out in 1968, which means it wasn't even around in the 70s like they claimed that we were kicking them out of the house in the 70s for welfare, when that wasn't even, it was, we legally did not have to in the 70s. So that's a lie right there. So you can pause to read this in its entirety, but it basically says, nevertheless, by reason his relationship with Miss Smith, the Alabama Welfare Department ruled pursuant to regulation that Mr. Williams was a substitute father. Thus, the Smith family became ineligible for assistance. Within 1.5 years of its enactment, this regulation eliminated 16,000 children from Alabama's AFDC rolls in a reduction of 22%. So this whole man in a house rule, it wasn't even implemented in all 50 states. In fact, the man in a house rule was only enacted in 31 out of the 50 states. So that's another thing that you don't hear them talk about when they talk about we kicked them out of the house for welfare. It wasn't even happening in all 50 states. So you can see the man in a house rules up here at the top. It said including Alabama substitute.
Let me read a few of these real quick. Right here. Right, where did I want? The one that caught my eye right here. Yep, May says, yep, if the government gives me 400 in food stamps, I'm going to divorce my husband. Yeah, LOL, brilliant.
I was gonna say that if I gotta collect money like that instead of you going out to work and supporting us, I'm gonna be mad too. They wonder why us Black women were mad back in the day, or mad to this day. When I know you're an able-bodied human being, you're an able-bodied man, and you allow me to get food stamps and food supplement and I know you can go out and work, I'm gonna be mad at you too. I'm gonna be bucking on you too. I'm gonna be doing all of those kind of things that you don't like a black woman to do, because I know you're able-bodied.
Can I point something out about this? Because this shit just drove me.
But can we move? Because we have a lot to cover.
Okay.
We're gonna move it forward just a little bit.
To father regulation, that the instant case rendered over 1/2 of these state regulations obsolete demonstrates its broad impact. It is the purpose of this note to set out the background of the case and explain the basis of the King decision, to examine the subsiding causes of man in the house rules, and finally to present the proposition that father litigations will ensue certain man in the house rules not reached by the King decision. So this says the man in the house rule was struck down in 1968 by Supreme Court in King versus Smith. Thereafter, families with males in the household were eligible for benefits if they were not deemed to be the actual or substitute parents, although any financial contribution on the part of the male to provide the family was still considered part of the family's total income. By 1981, the Supreme Court went further and required that states take into consideration any earnings by stepfathers. So this says a grimy irony around these characterizations is that Black women became the face of welfare, even as the program had long been closed off to them. The program most of us refer to as welfare began as an aid to dependent children during the New Deal and offered financial assistance to women whose husbands could not work, were not around, or were dead. When it started, the architects of that program assumed that the beneficiaries would largely be white women who were widows. Pramila Nadasan, the historian, told me, poor Black women were often rejected when they applied for those benefits, and if they did receive them, they might be conditional. In the South, Madison said that
Okay, I think we got the point that basically the argument that, especially in the red pill, because they don't even discuss this in the white red pill, to be honest with you, about Black women running to welfare to be their husband. Well, nope.
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the only thing that I just want to say this real quick is it drives me crazy because they tell the story inaccurate. The way the things she pointed out are absolutely accurate. The massive increase in Black families on the welfare roll came in right in parallel. The correlation to that was the massive unemployment for Black men around this time. Prior to that, Black men had jobs, even if they were jobs as farmers, sharecroppers, or whatever the hell else they were doing down in the South. But remember, as the unemployed, as they say, when white people get a cold, we get pneumonia. So when and the country went through periods of high unemployment, even during the 70s with the Iran, not the Iran Contra, but the oil embargo and things like that. These causes huge spikes in unemployment. The first people who are going to lose their job will be Blacks. And at that time, while Black women doing domestic work, Black men worked for factories and things. So as they lost jobs, prior to that, Black families weren't eligible or in need of welfare or the assistance when there was a Black man in the house with a job. The reason why the welfare roll swelled with Black families was because, as she said, it opened up to Black women, and then Black men were in a high level of unemployment. I'm not going to say they were lazy, but they still didn't have fucking jobs. These women had children and they needed to feed the family. So the welfare rolls increased with Black women going to the government, taking advantage of this aid that their tax dollars paid for as well, that white women were getting. So the narrative of Black women were kicking Black men out for welfare, and even during the period when they had the no man in the house role, no, they wasn't kicking them out. a lot of men were leaving to make the family eligible for the aid because of the man in the house rule in those specific states. So the narrative, and a lot of guys were leaving because as a man, imagine, if you can imagine in the 60s and 50s, you're a man, you got a wife or a girlfriend or a baby mom, whatever you want to call it, and you got 4 kids and no fucking job. That's going to last about 30 days. You got to do something. And a lot of men, I don't want to throw us completely under the bus, but a lot of black men were abandoning their family because they couldn't provide for them.
Exactly. Lord have mercy. Yeah.
That wasn't black women making them do it. That was the circumstance that the totality of the family was in. And once the guy left, because white men were walking away from their families too. But, you know, we were doing it at greater numbers because we were far more unemployed. That's what it was. Black men, they would do their, the blacks gonna get fired first, and then the poor whites, we know the hierarchy of maintaining employment. So as the black men, after 30 days, you ain't bringing in no income. Well, it's better for me just go and walk away from my family and take that burden off of me. And then that woman got to figure out what she gonna do. Yeah, she went to the government, and I don't fucking blame her. She should have. The hell with that nonsense. So that's where a lot of that came from. But them to perpetuate the narrative that the black woman chose to do it is total, complete bullshit. They went into survival mode, and they did what they had to for their children first. And yes,
we do have, I don't know if we'll get to it, but we do have actual footage from an interview during that time period where a black man explains that they were doing just that.
Oh, great. There you go. Let me shut up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to go to the next video because I think we got the vibe there.
Is it on this? Can you forward it a little bit? Is that part on this video or was it on the next one? That part, the interview part?
Let me see.
No, it's on T-Salts then. It's on
Okay,
T-Salts.
I got T-Salts up. Okay, let me go. I'm going to fast forward T-Salt to the...
Just to the interview part will be good. If you... Go forward. No, you can go forward. Go forward.
Oh, yeah, he's near the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, wait. There's a time mark. I think it's at the 7-minute mark. Around the 7-minute mark. Go right there.
This is going to be a weekly
training him to be a productive member.
Okay, yeah, back a little bit.
What is called department in an effort to help stay.
work programs and training programs were also available to the fathers in order to keep them in the home, because intact families start with the stability of the father.
The Missouri Welfare Department, in an effort to help stabilize the destitute family, and at the same time keep the man in the home, has instituted what is called a work experience program. It is designed to put dignity back into the unemployed father by either training or retraining him to be a productive member in today's labor force.
How'd you find out about the work experience program?
Well, I found out about when I ran out unemployment checks, and I knew the hustle wasn't no good. I knew, after a while, I just gave up on it. I went over to the welfare office to ask them for something, because we wanted to try everything. We didn't want to do nothing real sneaky, like let her get on ADC. I'll leave home and she'll tell the people that I deserted them. That, she has to go through this to get on ADC. Right. We didn't want to do that, and we went over there and found out about the work experience over at the welfare office.
And what are you doing now in the work experience program? What are you learning how to do?
Well, I'm going to be a welder.
Looking forward to the future?
Yeah.
Families together, not selling anymore.
That's all I wanted to play of that part.
Pretty good now.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. That's the position that people were in. And like I said, he was trying to do it the right way, but you heard him say, we didn't want you, you know, but a large number, because prior to that, the welfare rolls was not, like they say, the demographic changed at that period, because prior to that, they had jobs. So even though welfare existed since the 30s, we wasn't on it because these men had jobs. But when they didn't have jobs anymore, where the hell else was these women with children supposed to go? Where else was they supposed to go? They went to where they were supposed to go. And I'm glad they did. So these men, which really offends me, you know, did my mother? Hell yeah, she had to. Hell, I needed to eat. We needed to eat. So she couldn't be like, oh, I got to worry about, you know, your daddy pride. No, y'all got to eat. So I don't blame any mother for that, and shame on them trying to shame you guys for what your mothers did. If it were not for what our mothers did, we may not even be here. That's crazy. But that's the reality of these guys and these new dudes that sitting there that don't know what the hell they talking about, regurgitating this made up shit, need to be ashamed of themselves.
I want to read Chief Goddess's comment. She says, in the King versus Smith case, a black woman got the man in the house removed. Black men say welfare kept them out of the home, but it was a black woman who went to court to make sure he remains in it. They leave that part out. Miss Sylvester Smith is her name.
Awesome. I didn't know that. Awesome.
DJ, I wanted to say something about, but Rico, he summed it up, but I just wanted to say this. And then this is the last thing I have to say about, I was talking to someone who was telling me that those guys, those guys chose to leave the home. They weren't kicked out. They just chose, because a lot of these men, especially back in the South, they used to have families and they used to go with other women, get different women pregnant. Like they'll go to one woman's house, get one woman pregnant, then like 5 women, but they didn't have the money, or some of them didn't have jobs, like Rico said, to afford these women. So they would go back to their families. And so you would have all these single mothers around. And the guy was telling me it was a song called Poppa Was a Rolling Stone. It was in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And that song was about how black men back in the South and like, I guess the inner cities were leaving black women single mothers. And, you know, the song goes, Poppa was a rolling stone. Wherever he left his hat was his home.
Yeah, Temptation.
So, yeah. So
big hit.
That's what happened. Those men really chose to leave. And it's so evil that they would do something and say something like that. But black women have to know the truth, because they shouldn't be able to use this as an argument to demonize black women. That's all I wanted to say.
And that's exactly what that song was about. Poppa was a Rolling Stone. Right, DJ? Don't sing, DJ. Don't sing.
Oh, come on now.
He can't
that's
sing
all I
anyway.
wanted
His
to
mouth
say.
is full.
Yeah, but that's exactly what that song was. The song, like I said, wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he's gone, oh, he left
There you go.
us alone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Rico, you can't sing anymore either. We're not gonna let you sing it.
But those were the lyrics.
Oh wow.
Rolling Stone, wherever he laid his hat was his home, and when he's gone, all he left us was alone.
When he died.
Those
When he
were
died.
the lyrics.
It was when he died.
Those were the lyrics. And
It was when he died. Okay, so when he died.
When he died, yeah.
all he left us was alone. Oh. I got you, DJ.
Yeah, old DJ gonna play the song.
And get us a copyright strike on top
This
of
was.
it.
You hear it. You hear it.
You gotta cut the hook. DJ, copyright strike.
So you got me dancing. Let me put my robe on.
DJ, this got a real long intro. Y'all see how long this song is?
Yeah, that was a long intro.
That my daddy died.
This song's like that long.
Okay, cut
I
it
never
out.
got a chance to see.
You know you played too long. You
Never heard nothing but bad things about him. That was alone.
I'll tell everybody, go listen to the lyrics of this song. That's everything time to go.
Wherever he laid his hat, all he left was alone. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died,
DJ.
all he left
I know.
I didn't mean for him to play the song, but
But if you listen to this song, the lyrics, that's basically this was not made up. This was true. It was just more common than we want to admit.
well, let me get on up out of here. This started to be a club, but that's all I wanted to say, y'all. Bye.
Ain't nothing wrong with a club every now and then.
Yeah, that song is appropriate for that time frame, and it's kind of appropriate for this time frame. The same circumstances apply, right? I mean, regardless, black women are still, well, all women, if they deal with the bulk of the black men will probably be left at some particular point, or well, they always say that we women leave, but they never ask the question of why are we leaving? Why are we divorcing? Why are we walking out the door? They never ask that question. They always say, well, 80% or plus of the households are being broken up because of female leaves or woman leaves. But they never ask, why do we leave? Why do you think we leave a relationship or a marriage or anything like that at the rate we're leaving it? Because it's something that it's being done to us. It's something that we're not getting. It's something that is happening within that relationship that makes us walk away. So terrible that it makes us walk away. They never ask the question as to why do we walk away?
Because they're not at all concerned.
Right.
they just want to have a dialogue and not consider all the aspects of the relationships and what went in them and what came out of them.
Right.
Their only purpose is to blame black women for the state of affairs, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that playbook.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy that and then so how do they? So it's crazy. It's like knowing that is what was going on in that time by men, and it was more than just songs. There were books, there were articles, there were just all sorts of activism during that time. Speaking of the state of affairs, how do these clowns in present day think they get to rewrite the past? How do they get to say, oh, no, that wouldn't happen? I'm like, wait a minute. So you just trying to tell men who lived during that time. And, we know songs are just expressions of our lived experience. So the same way they do the drill and all the silly shit they sing about today. So if they would tell me that artists today, artists, the imitation of life for the times, then that song was the imitation of life of that time. Same as every other song. So the reality is you don't get to go back and say that didn't occur because it doesn't fit in your narrative.
It's called deflection.
Right. I didn't see, unless you can find me a song where it says about the white man kicked the black man out. Tell me where that song is. Because I can give you a lot more songs like this, like other than just this one. There are a bunch of other similar songs like this that speaks to that time. So you got to find me the white man kicked the black man out song during that time to match it. Other than that, you just making shit up.
Right. But they always make shit. They always make stuff up. They always make it up. is because, look, if you tell me that I need to clean my nose, I'm gonna start looking at my nose. And it's like they run this narrative of, hey, black woman, you need to lose weight, or hey, black woman, you need to do this, and then we start falling into that trap of saying, well, maybe I do need to lose weight, even though I ain't having a problem before I started talking to you, but now I got a problem because you said I got a problem. See, it's deflection. It's like, look, why are you worried about what I'm doing over here instead of worrying about what you doing over there? Instead of you correcting your behavior, you are not on the bottom of the totem pole as far as marriage and relationships and commitment for a reason. You're on the bottom of having the worst success rate because there's something going on with you. It has nothing to do with us. And then you're trying to make us deflect and say it's something wrong with us. But it's nothing. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with black women. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is all of the issues you're saying that are black women's issues are not that much of an issue. And we have the most success rate out of all the races with white men. And most relationships we get in, we have the best success rate. So it can't be us.
And I struggle with, I would say in the discussions I've ever seen, where especially in the clownosphere, and they have conversations with women, is almost literally, and again, as DJ's done a great job of exposing all of the mammies and pick-me's, and that they feed to their narrative where you expect these women to push back. So when I hear them even say the status, which may be accurate, I will readily agree that, black women have the lowest marriage rate of all women, but they completely dismiss that, everybody's marriage rate is dropping because people are not getting married anymore. But even in saying, okay, 75% of black women will never marry.
But they also completed.
Mm-hmm.
But Rico, they also dismissed their marriage rates.
Right. Thank you.
So they're the lowest marrying men.
You knew exactly where I was going. I was like, 75% of black women don't get married. I'm like, okay, it's 74% of black men. So what? That was exactly where I was going. I was like, they act like, oh, we better than y'all. I'm like, by 1 or 2 percentage points.
Yeah, but
are you serious?
But they forget the fact that we are the most race loyal.
Right.
If we weren't the most race loyal, and we decided that we, as a collective,
would marry outside,
and marry outside, there would be some problems on the other side.
Which is what actually probably make them beat y'all by 1 or 2 percentage points, because black men marry outside of their race at double the percentage of black women. Because I think the last time I saw the stat, it was something like 3% of black women marry outside their race, while both of them marry low. But It's like 3% for black women, but like 6% of black men. So I'm like, the only reason why we have a better marriage rate than black women is because fucking more of us will marry outside. That's it.
But it's not we're not worried about quantity. We're worried
no,
about quality.
Right,
I know not you, but I'm saying if quality wise, we have the best rate.
Right, but what I'm saying is if 6% of black women married outside their race, y'all would have a better marriage rate than we do.
Right.
That's what I'm literally saying. If it was the equal percentage of 6% of black men marry outside the black race. If 6% of black women married outside, y'all would have a better marriage rate than black men. And that's what I looked at. I was like, so how we going to complain about them? We're doing worse. We are.
Right.
They stay loyal, and we're only beating them by 1 or 2%. So I would never I could never bring that up. And even to the fact that white women are not getting married, and their birth rates is going up outside of wedlock by choice. Right. Nobody wants to get married anymore.
Right. And it's like, look, it's not saying a good thing for everybody. It's not saying that we all have
it's global
problems. Yep.
It's global. The low marriage rate and the low birth rate is global. Right. It's not something that's just happening amongst a certain demographic in the US. It's all over.
Right. So then that means Stop. I say to my beautiful black sister, stop letting them weaponize this shit against you, because you guys are smart enough. That's why I keep telling you, get your education. I don't care what that's why they want you to be uneducated, because they don't want you to know this stuff. So I'm like, no, don't be uneducated, be more educated. So counter their stupidity with your intelligence. That's it. And never argue. I'll never argue their point from their position. When they tell me a fact, I'm like, okay, so now here's mine. Oh, what about this? I don't give it about your made up shit. Here's mine. but literally, when you do, all they want to do is get you into a debate. And I be like, well, Gemini, what about this? And you spend all night addressing my points, and I never allow you to make yours. And
I mean, they do that. They
I've seen
and especially when you're on a panel with more than one of them, they just triangulate.
Yes,
right.
That's where I see you guys. I was like, no, don't do it. So don't go to spaces where you know that they're going to gang up on you like that. Like, no, because it's just utter bullshit. Go to places where you know it's going to be fair, and let them say their shit. Okay, you done with your made up the black women kid. Okay, all right, now this is my point. Right. And because they can't defend reality or intelligence or intellect, because you guys saw this tonight. They can't. They don't want to fight that fight. They want you over in the pig pen with their dumb shit. Right. And I just won't do it.
Right. It's a terrible thing. I mean, it's a bunch of distraction. It's like gentlemen who got up on the panel. It's like, well, you don't like black men or something. I don't even know what his argument was. It was like, no, I love black men. You know, I just know we have flaws in our demographic.
But, you know, and it's funny because they will get you in a position to where you have to say nice things to them. It's like you have to sit there. You're sitting there defending the fact that you like them because that's what they want to hear. So they manipulate you. And they manipulate you into saying nice things about them and debasing yourself. So it's never a good idea to engage because
and you see, I tried not to say that, right?
Right. It's not in good faith. You're not having conversations with them in good faith ever.
Right. I was just forcing myself not to say I love all black. I was trying to not say that because I knew he was like, well, you're just dumping on black men. That's not.
Don't do it. Look, I laughed because the other night I sat there and I listened to that fool. I think it was on whose channel was it on? It might have been on Peso. And the guy was going at DJ, and he was like, "Can you say something nice?" He was messing with Melinda. Can't you say something nice? I was like, "Don't give that motherfucker nothing." No, she can't even say nothing about. I'm like, "Don't even do it." That's what he's trying to. I was like, "Don't go into those traps." Where they're trying to make you don't fight them on their territory. Right. No, I don't have to do anything. So I was proud of Melinda. She was like, I don't owe you anything. But still, you could see he was trying to trigger her and agitate her. And I was like, see, this is that his points were so stupid, not based in any science, any facts, nothing. But it was that, and I'll say to you all, be as masculine as you need to be. Don't let them sit there. They use those trigger words. Oh, she masculine. And you guys want to get in the space to show that you're not. You don't have to prove nothing to these shit throwing monkeys.
Rico, I never. Fortunately for me, the first panel I went on, it was only two guys. And then the woman was the host and she just like left me there with these two dudes to talk. But I figured it out then, and I've never done that. I'm just not going to justify my decisions to perfect strangers. Like, you don't exist to me. You're not even in my reality. So there's no reason for me to sit here and argue with you, especially when you don't have the range for the conversation. And it was crazy because, like I said, the two guys, one of them was asking me if I would date someone who made half of my income. I was like, why would I do that? Like, why would I do that? And he was like, well, you can marry them and you can keep half of your income in savings. Oh, you will be a good lick. Like, I could marry you for have a 5-year plan. Stay married to me for 5 years. And have a great retirement. Like,
but do you see what that question does? That question is not to solicit an answer. That's a question just to get you to defend something.
Right.
So now you're
Well,
stuck
I mean, but
over there.
he picked the wrong person because I have no problem defending that. And on top of
But
it,
here's the whole point. It's not that you have a problem defending it. That ain't fuck his territory.
But no, but what
Yeah,
I'm
I would
saying,
just
Rico,
simply
is
say, I would
Rico,
simply say no.
Wait, Rico.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is he didn't have the range for the conversation because when I said, "Oh, okay, so what about debt?" Well, we're not going to talk about debt. So you're not fiscally responsible. So if you can't be fiscally responsible, there's nothing that we don't have a conversation to be had.
Right.
Like there are men who can make less money and save more money than people who make more money than them. If I'm talking about that kind of person, that's kind of a different dynamic.
Right.
But when you're talking to people who don't have the range about finances, then it's a no-brainer. And these guys don't have the range to have the conversations that they want to enter into with women. And women don't need to. I agree with you. Women don't. I won't. I'm not going on any panels with any men to discuss any of this because, quite frankly, you're not someone I would even take a second glance at or look at or have a conversation with. It's just, why would I? So why would I waste my energy and my efforts? I heard this woman say, she said, I see, why don't you speak to, this was at work. I was like, why don't you speak to such and such? She was like, I might need that last breath. She said, I might need that last breath on my dying bed. And she said, I was like, oh my God. So I feel like that, yeah, why would I waste my breath? I might need that on my dying bed.
Because
Why would I waste my keystroke? Why do I waste my keystrokes and my energy on people who don't matter when I can use those keystrokes to talk to women and warn women about things? These guys are not even worth your energy, your time, your effort, or your breath.
Right.
The questions are, this is the way I look at it, is like you said, like that question you gave, which was a great question, it's just a baited question. This is a question where I'm going to lay it a trap to pull you in, and now I got you conversing in this space of fucking stupidity. Instead of you, I mean, literally, that's literally what they do. I watch them do it. I'm like, and all of a sudden the conversation is 20, 30 minutes, you know, just going around in this circle jerk, wasting time when there was a real serious, and you never get to proposition your question because you're stuck defending or explaining to a damn moron, an idiot, which they're not going to accept nothing you say anyway. You know when you walked in the room, there's nothing I say to this asshole that he's going to accept as reality or even remotely true. So why am I about to spend 30 minutes arguing with somebody who, when he's asked the question, he already has made up in his mind what the answer must be?
You don't
Not
even
what it
engage.
possibly could be, but what it must be. So unless I say the thing that he expects, and even if you give him the thing that he expects, he's going to ask you another baited question because there's a chain of baited questions. So literally, like, you can't say nothing good about women. No. Okay. Well, why can't you? I was like, motherfucker, I answered your question. I'm not going to answer another and another. And I don't care how negative the answer sounds because you're never going to be satisfied. It's a bait.
Hi.
Oh, I was just coming because I agree with y'all on what y'all saying about getting on these panels. I sent DJ a link. I don't know if you guys know the Saint in the Center and Princella the Queen Maker. They did was supposed to be a debate on what she thinks, and he insulted her the entire time, was giving slick comments from the beginning and basically disrespected her. And she just left, calling her all types of names, calling her fat, talking about her hairline. It was a mess. So if y'all want to go watch that trash, y'all can. But just an example of how and then what really is sickening is the men in the chat being like, cooker. Oh, you got her. Ooh, you got her. Ooh,
Oh yeah, Maya. We're gonna be doing a live on that one. That's
Oh, can it be on a weekend? Because that's when your girl is off, and
not with the request.
Yeah, because I want to be a part.
Maya, you becoming an old woman, Maya.
Maya was down with the special request.
Old ass Maya.
No, because I'm at work. I'm at work, and I really want to be a part. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We're just teasing you. We're just
You
teasing.
sound like my grandmama.
I get that a lot.
Make it on the weekend, baby.
No, I didn't think you sounded like a grandmother. I just thought it was funny you made that special
No,
request.
you're fine. I have a young energy, but I got an old soul.
Take it on the weekend, baby.
Oh, I love it. I love it. My boss said that's why he hired me. He said, because you got an old soul, but you young and at heart. So, yeah. And even I go live on this app. I don't know if y'all heard of Bigo. And there was these men trying to bait me. And I just said, I'm not going to answer your question.
Yeah.
They want to know my age. They was like, where your kids at? I was like, I don't have any kids. Oh, how old are you? I was like, you fine. You fine. I'm fine. Don't even worry about it. Because you ain't the men for me, and you ain't the type of men I be around anyway. So I don't got to give you nothing.
And I just say this. I'll say this to every black woman. Please stop thinking y'all got to understand everybody. What I literally say is all I want to do is have the ability to recognize the fuckers for who they are. And once I see you, I just need to identify you. And then I know, okay, put your ass over there. I don't care how you got broken. I don't know why. I don't care why. I don't understand. I didn't do it. It's not my job. I do not have any responsibility to figure out why you got so fucked up. But it is important for you guys, for your safety, mental, physical, and emotional, to be able to recognize these broken people, men and women, but especially men. But once you recognize who they are, stop thinking you have to figure them out. You don't. You just really don't. It's not your problem. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. Leave that fucker over there and keep moving.
I want to read a couple of these comments, and then we're going to land the plane. Siobhan says they charge their vacuums so they can suck the life out of black women, literally or figuratively. Prism said DJ Torch, Obsidian pulled up on a Miri yesterday with that same mess. He's a joke. I'm never ever going to be nice to these men. DJ, did you play that ODJ video about how black men hate their moms? If not, we should cover that soon. We'll have to look into that one.
We will definitely. I think I remember it. Yeah, we'll put that in the mix as well.
Okay. Heathen Queen, final comments.
Well, final comment is this. Don't change for no one except yourself. They can say you're fat, skinny, tall, thin, whatever. But don't change for no one. When you find a person that wants you for you, then you gravitate towards that person. And nothing else matters besides that.
I need to jump in for real quick on that. I stacked myself on top of that. Heathen Queen is 150% right. Many of women have tried to change for somebody, or were thin, or were perfectly what the guy was looking for, and he either cheated on her, left her, or ran through her. So you got to be who you are.
Good example, Beyonce.
Straight up.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Heathen Queen.
Rico, final comment.
Great stream like always. Thank you guys for letting me up. I always enjoy my time over here. And keep doing the work, DJ, Gemini, and the rest of the gang. Keep doing the work.
Rico, thank you for blessing the chat and the panel. We love you here. I mean, not like that, but we love you here.
I love him.
Have a good night.
And my final word.
My lonely ass on my anniversary till the wifey come home tomorrow.
Wow.
Happy anniversary, though.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
And you all want to hear me sing it? I can sing that song for you. What do you think?
I want to hear it.
Happy anniversary.
Oh,
damn, I'm good. Anniversary.
DJ, we're gonna do a Skype meeting, me and you, and I'm gonna teach you how to sing, okay? My musical ear can't take that. That's
quite honestly, I'm a realist, so there's probably no hope, but let's give it a try anyway.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Okay, Rico.
Bye.
My final thoughts is stop letting Big J up here until he heal, please. That's only my final thought. Cause Lord have mercy, he probably gonna make a video about this. Yeah, I said it, Big J. What you gonna do? Go heal.
He's working on it right now.
I know he gearing up his choppy mic. Oh no! All right, I have a good day.
Yeah, Maya right about that. So, any last words, Gemini?
Nope. Please place your tray tables in the upright positions. Turn off all of your electronic devices. We will be landing shortly.
Well, I did have a speech. I think it's about an hour and 45 minutes long. I think this is the perfect time right now. Yeah. I think
Go ahead.
all right, long time ago, back in the day. No, I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just playing with Gemini because she's hungry and and she want me to, close the show. But it is time to close the show because I'm kind of hungry myself. But yeah, back in the day, 3 hours later. Okay. I think it's time. Let me hit this button right here. Wait, I want to do a shout out. Shout out to, here we go. I'm going to do shout outs first and then I'm going to play the music. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Don. Shout out to May. Shout out to A Lady. Shout out to Prism. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Shivon. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Gemini. Shout out to Bridget Mouton. Shout out to Henry Mars. Damn, that sounded good right there. I got that one perfect. Shout out to Woo, said it. Shout out to Monica M. Let's see who else up in here. Let's see who else. Shout out to Maya Lashan. Shout out to Jenny B. I think that's enough shout outs. Oh, Conscious Mind Love. Bridget Mouton. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat and in the clouds. Thank you for coming through. Here we go.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar.
Strumming and wrenching in the house.
Un lugar para trabajar. Y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el putín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. Yo vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré. De dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré. De dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Yeah. Money work, de corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, yeah, de corazón, de corazón. Yeah, la plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work, el mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work, money work, money work, money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work.